All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour one. Schaefer and Sliwa, good to be back in Southern California. I think our listeners have been here. I was in Philadelphia, traveled earlier today. Alan, thank you for holding it down here in San Diego.
That was all Brent, by the way.
No,
Brent was holding
Brent
it down,
some of the
getting
credit.
you connected, the whole thing.
I would agree with that. But like, what if we were both in Philadelphia? Well, we still could have done the show, actually.
We could have easily done it.
We could have done the show.
Shared one mic.
That would have been interesting.
No, just I think
a second mic.
It would have been, but even if we didn't, it's more just like a way for us to kind of become more and more connected together for the show.
I do like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, great to be here. We got a really good show lined up. When this game is final, Padres Cubs rubber match of this 3-game series at Petco. Kevin will join us this afternoon. Am I on the wrong side of the screen again on YouTube? It's like certain things, death, taxes, me screwing up the YouTube stream.
The only reason why I knew is because you were looking technically at the wall when we were looking here.
Wait, let me see what it looks like. Hold on, I switched back to being wrong. So I'm looking this way. I'm looking at the wall, and now you look at me in actual life.
Yep.
And we're looking completely in opposite directions.
Yeah, I'm looking at a wall. You're looking at a wall.
Idiot. Kevin Acee will join us coming up at 5:30. We're going to talk SDFC. By the way, we're talking Aztec football. Their spring game is Saturday. But right now, in the here and now with the Padres, who are trying to pick up a 20th win in their first 30 games for the first and only time since 1998.
That's
in
crazy.
Franchise history, believe it or not, if they win today.
Crazy.
But they'll need to do it out in come from behind fashion. They're trailing 4-3. And this goes back to a trend that has played out over at least the last week, if not longer. The Padres bullpen came into the season with the expectations or the hype as being maybe the best in the sport, right? How many times do we say that in the offseason?
Sure.
Padres have the best bullpen. Mason Miller, Adrian Morejon, Jason Adam. The list goes on and on. Well, the numbers don't bear it out. They just allowed a run in the 6th inning of a 3-3 game. That was Morejon who came on and allowed that, whatever he allowed. What do you allow in the 6th inning? How'd that score? RBI ground out, essentially.
Oh, Jesus. Go ahead. Oh, they got lucky.
They just got lucky there, or they trail 5-3. But the bullpen, the point is this, the bullpen has not lived up to the expectations, and the numbers bear it out, and that continues here today against the Cubs.
He gave up, Morejon started the inning with a walk.
Never a good idea.
Runner got to second, eventually got to third, and with one out, a play by Ty France and Luis Camposano, trying to get a double play, tags out at first, no problem. The throw to the plate, Camposano too far up the line towards first base.
Yep.
Doesn't have enough or is too far back to tag the runner. He should have been able to get him, and he wasn't able to. So, the bullpen has not. I'm trying to think off the top of my head here. And if I just look at this series, in these last 2 games, specifically against the Cubbies, basically the Padres are playing from behind. It feels like all series against the Cubbies.
Right.
Specifically these last 2 games. And every time they need some type of a shutout inning to kind of let's gain a little bit of momentum, they haven't been able to do it. So, those are surprising stats. And some of that, obviously we know about Jeremiah Estrada, who had some work in Lake Elsinore. He had a little bit of work done. And again, we just kind of go back to some of these more consistent arms. Mason Miller has been phenomenal, gave up a couple of runs in his last outing, but he's been phenomenal. Jason Adam, that he's kind of just working his way back, but Morejon hasn't been as solid. Estrada, we obviously know about. And then there's just the Kyle Harts, the David Morgans, the Wandy Peraltas, not exactly the most reliable and dependable right now. And some of this also has to do with the starters not going deep into games. That's happening a lot, especially if you don't have Vasquez or Michael King starting.
I'm going to throw this question out to you.
Okay.
The last 7 games, including today, as we sit here right now in this exact moment, let's say heading into this inning, what do you think the bullpen ERA is in the last 7 games?
The bullpen ERA in the last 7. Is it over 4?
It is.
Over 5?
It is.
It's over 5?
Keep going. Do you think it's over 6?
Oh, my God. Based off of that, yes, I do think it's over 6.
Would you say it's over 7?
Stop.
How about 8? How about over 9? Their bullpen ERA, including today, heading into this inning, is 9.64 in their last 7 games. There's a caveat. They allowed 10 runs in one game in Mexico City, their bullpen.
Okay.
So that's a portion of it, but I could give you, I have the totals. Like
I almost don't want to give. I wish we weren't counting Mexico City.
Well, they gave up 6 runs in Colorado in 4 1/3 innings. They gave up 2 runs in 4 innings in Colorado, 10 runs in 2 innings in Mexico City. Then there was no runs in 3 innings, 2 runs in 4 innings against the Cubs, then 4 runs yesterday in 5 1/3 innings, 1 run today in 2 innings as Bradley Rodriguez gets out of a spot in the 7th inning to keep it 4-3. Yes, asterisks, fair, but I mean, it also does
they're not delivering.
count.
Yeah, they're not delivering.
They're just not delivering. And to further hammer the point home, entering today, they had the 17th best ERA in the sport, their bullpen, which means they actually had the 14th worst bullpen ERA or 13th worst, whatever it is, 14th worst bullpen ERA in the sport heading into today for the season at over 4. For the season, it's over 4.
You know, it's odd because I think part of this, let me use as an example, Matt Waldron has to come in with Nick Pivetta, leaves how many, maybe 2.5 weeks ago now, or just over, about 2.5 weeks ago, Nick Pivetta gets his injury. Waldron makes his, I want to say his 3rd start. What's happened, there's a trickle-down effect. And I think what they're trying to do here, even in the game against Arizona in Mexico City, we're talking about, why isn't Stammen going for the W in this game? It's the second game where they're up 7-1. Arizona gets it all the way down to 7-6, and he's kind of saving some of his arms. Could have maybe went to some other guys. There's a trickle down effect of what's happening here, and I don't think it has all to do with just Nick Pivetta, but the bullpen's being used a ton. There's a lot of close games. They're trying to manage it as best as they can. They're still winning games. But I think the fact that you have Matt Waldron, you go Walker Buehler, Matt Waldron, and Marquez. You go. Yep. That's your 3 that you go in a row, which I think everybody, understands that you kind of have no idea what you're going to get from any 3 of these starters. Well, if you're only pitching 4 or 5 innings every single night, I think they are kind of starting to taxi their bullpen a little bit. I think their bullpen will get better as the season progresses. That's the hope. But the other issue is you're asking for your starters right now. You got 2 dependable starters. That's it. You got Michael King and you have Randy Vasquez. After that, it almost feels like I got no idea what's going to happen in any of these games, and that's kind of played out every time those guys have started.
Honestly, the more and more we talk about their 19-10 start, the more and more I want to give a lot of credit to Craig Stammen.
Yeah,
because how many times do we say, well, look at Machado and Merrill and Tatis, and how many times have we now said, hey, this bullpen isn't what it was cracked up to be? I mean, they have the 17th best ERA in the sport, and they're without Nick Pivetta. So you don't have your ace. Your bullpen has not lived up to the standard. Your offense has been remarkable considering the lack of anything really from guys like Tatis and Merrill and Machado. Yet they're 19-10. And even if they lose this game, they're 19-11. And if they win it, they have 20 wins in 30 games for just the second time in franchise history. So I guess my point is it's somewhat hard to explain and fathom.
It's hard to explain. And I think it's also tough to be too tough on them because they have found ways to just win games. They have found ways to survive. They've found ways to not just keep their head above water, but thrive in many cases. So, look, they're down 4-3 right now. It would not be a surprise if they found a way to come back because they've done this so many times this year. But if they do lose this game, they're still 19-11 through the first 30 games. And I still think, of course, a lot of people would feel really good about that. Could they be trending in the wrong direction if they lose this game? It'd be the first series they've lost. I think they're in their last 7 series, they've won 6 and they tied 1.
Right,
that's the one with the Diamondbacks.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. It's not, for me, I'm not concerned, about their overall body of work, regardless of whether they win or lose here today. I'm just wondering about the overall sustainability. It's not about the trend lines. It's about, can you play the way you've played and continue to win at this clip? Maybe you don't have to win at this clip. You win 19 out of every 30, and then all of a sudden you're winning 17 out of every 30. You're still going to be a very good baseball team. I'm curious if this is what they've done and shown us through 30 games, which has been impressive, how that would manifest itself moving forward if this is the way the team is going to maneuver themselves over the course of the year.
Yeah, I mean that's why we saw earlier in the week we're looking at Fangraphs. What was that win total Fangraphs had?
It was 83, wasn't it?
83, I think, right?
I'm guessing it's up.
Fangraphs had it at 83. And I think both of us, me, you, and Brent, we're like looking at those numbers and saying, how's that possible? They've already chalked in 19 games. They're basically 25% of the way to 83.
Right.
Close enough. 22%, 23%, whatever the number is. How are you calling them to 83 at this point? There probably is something that Fangraphs is, metrics that they're clearly using.
Right.
And there's been some other people that we've talked to. And again, I don't want to sound negative about them at the moment. But they haven't played their cleanest baseball clearly over this last, you call it maybe week or so, probably about a week. You can say it. And they're still kind of finding ways to kind of grind through some of these games. But yeah, the Fangraphs thing threw me off. The Fangraphs, that almost made me more concerned. It's like, why are they that pessimistic about where the Padres are sitting?
I think Fangraphs is simulating some of what we're saying. You know what I mean? Without trying to be overly pessimistic. We're not sitting here like sky is falling if they lose this series. I mean, give me a break. They'd be 19-11. But what we're saying is, well, they've got starting pitching injuries. Their bullpen hasn't been as effective as expected. And their big bats haven't yet been big bats. Like Fangraphs today gives the Padres a better chance of missing the postseason.
Wow.
Than making it. 51.4% chance they miss, basically a coin flip. 48.6% chance they
Does
make.
Rosenthal run Fangraphs?
No, somehow he doesn't. And again, I'm taking this with a grain of salt.
Shot at Rosenthal.
I feel good about the Padres no matter what happens today. I do. But again, my eyes are seeing something that doesn't necessarily reflect 19-11 or better on paper. Is that fair?
Let's say they're 30 games in after today's game.
Yep.
Let's say their next 30, they went 15-15.
Yeah.
You got an issue with that?
No, not particularly.
I don't.
They'd be, what would their record be?
34
and
8 games over 500.
34-26.
I don't got an issue with that.
Closer to the finish line.
If I'm being honest, I don't have an issue with that. I think they're going to go through this stage here. Here's the most important thing with them. They obviously have health that's affecting them and affecting their starting lineup, which we've already talked about. It's going to have a trickle effect. If you told me in the next 30 games they play 500 ball, they're 8 games over 500, and by that point you're telling me that we're maybe getting a little bit closer to Pivetta, maybe we're getting a little bit closer to some of their other arms that are out, then I think that they're okay. Now, there's a piece where you're looking at the NL West after every single game and you're saying to yourself, hey, where are they? Dodgers win this game. Did they lose this game? How many games up? We're looking at that right now. Even if that is not realistic and that's not sustainable, that's okay. Like what is, at the end of the day, before this season started, what is the goal for the San Diego Padres? Is it not to make the playoffs and have home field in that wild card? And anything you get on top of that is just, it's bonus. It's icing on the cake. And I think they're, obviously the trajectory that they go on. Last year, they started the year out 14-3, and it gave them a cushion that they needed the rest of the way. Would you be shocked if kind of it plays out a little bit more similar to that based off of, like I said, it's not like they have all their dudes right now and everything is just clicking. They got a lot of things also not working, and they still have managed to be 8-9 games above 500.
Right. So is it sustainable, and does it even need to be for the Padres to reach their goals here in 2026? 70470, start it with the word team, or you can hit us up on the phone lines, 877-767-4760. We're getting you ready for the Aztec spring game coming up at 3:30 as well here on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, San Diego Sports 760 has 9 chances for you to win $1,000 every weekday with the Bonus Bucks contest. Listen every hour, 9 a.m. through 5 p.m. Listen for the keyword, then enter it at sportssd.com. Sportssd.com. Next chance to win $1,000 coming up soon on San Diego Sports 760.
760. By the way, Schaefer and Sliwa, Bill Hammett, Aztec link. We're going to be out at this Don Coryell Classic golf event coming up on Friday. We're talking to Sean Lewis. We'll talk to the starting quarterback for the Aztecs, Jaden Denigal, starting tailback Lucky Sun, and more.
Great.
We'll get you ready for this event with Bill Hammett. He joined us last year from Aztec Link. He'll join us again coming up in about 10 minutes. On cue, we've been talking about this Padres bullpen, and they're clearly going for it. I mean, look at the relievers they're using today, including now Jason Adam. And Jason Adam has allowed a home run. Padres not done, but trailing now in the 8th inning, 5-3. So it furthers the points we've been making, which isn't that they don't have a good bullpen. That's not the point I'm trying to make. I'm just saying their bullpen has been very susceptible, and by their expectations, has honestly been very disappointing here, specifically over the last week plus.
How much of that do you think is just these individuals have pitched poorly? How much do you think it is what we were talking about a little bit earlier about they're using them a ton right now and there's a lot of dependency on them?
I like what you're saying. I think it's more the latter. I think that as you tax, you become more susceptible. You want relievers to be put in roles that are defined. And today we need 4 outs, but we prefer you as a 2 or 3 out guy, but today we need 5. Today we need you in the 6th. We prefer you as a 7th inning guy, but today pitch the 6th. I think like you and I like to wake up at the same time. I like to do similar things in the morning. I think they want to know what their roles are. I think clearly defined roles typically benefit a bullpen. And right now, I don't think there's anything defined about the way they're using their bullpen other than the 9th inning.
Yeah. And like I said, yesterday they kind of battled back to tie it at 2 apiece. And then before you know it, Chicago takes the lead again.
Right.
And then the doors just got open. I think Chicago went up 4-2. Camposano got a single to make it 4-3. And then next thing you know, it's 8-3. The game's over.
Right.
Today, you start the game out down 1-0. Then you're down 3-0. They come all the way back tied at 3. Mm-hmm. And before you could sit down and enjoy the comeback, they're down 4-3. Morejon gives up a run. Now Jason Adam gives up a run. 5-3. So they've put themselves, they're battling back. They find, they kind of have a little bit of this mentality that you can't count us out. Watch all 27 outs. We'll be there for all 9 innings. But the Cubbies definitely have had the better series against the Padres. And like I said, I just go back to the beginning of all this. They're having to play from behind the entire time, which also doesn't, favor their bullpen, doesn't favor anybody when you're playing from behind.
You made an interesting point in the start of the show, which is, listen, one of the goals or one of the clearly defined goals could easily be, wrap up the top wildcard spot. If you get out of 2026's regular season with the number 4 overall seed and you're hosting playoff games at Petco Park, that would be arguably a pretty successful year, right? Yeah, you didn't win the division, but that's a whole other conversation for another day. But again, you're competing with teams like you're measuring up against teams like the Chicago Cubs.
Sure.
In that conversation. And there's others that are going to be in that conversation. Arizona Diamondbacks, who you just split with, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, I agree with you where, you just got to get to the postseason. Shoot, you can win series as a road team. They did it against the New York Mets, right, back in 2022.
Right. Yep.
They've done
Took them 3 games, yep.
But I'm with you. I'd love to see them secure a home playoff series in 2026. I get it. We're getting ahead of ourselves. But these are the teams we're talking about, though, in 3-game series. It seems like the Cubs. It seems like the Diamondbacks that you'll either be playing in the postseason or B, you'll be competing with to get to the postseason from a seeding perspective as well.
Yeah, I think also, too, part of maybe this has something to do with the fan graphs. I know a lot of people have said this as well in regards to some of the competition that the Padres were going up against. We chatted with one of your buddies before this series started, and there was a little bit of, hey, let's see how both of these two teams do against each other. I mean, listen, if people want to make the case, well, the Padres have the record they do because they've played San Francisco and they've played Boston and they've played Colorado 7 times and the Angels. And you can make that case until you start playing some good teams and see how you look against them. And obviously they'll get some opportunities here. Well, really even not in the immediate future. You got the White Sox after this. You got the Giants again after this. So they still got some teams. I'm with you.
I'll take it, right?
However you can stack up as many W's in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, and by the way, the Cubs, where is everyone criticizing them beating up on the Phillies and the Mets? Because they had 10 straight wins against either the Phillies or the Mets, but it all counts. At the end of the day, it all counts. It's a universal schedule. Everyone plays everyone, including the San Diego Padres. We'll get back to it, of course, when this game goes final. But on the other side, we're switching gears to talking Aztec spring football. They've got their Aztec Link Coryell Classic coming up this Friday, and we'll be out there for that broadcast. Then they've got the spring game on Saturday. We'll talk to Bill Hammett from Aztec Link. He'll get us ready for the spring game and for Friday's broadcast from Riverwalk as well. That's next on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Right now, Padres and Cubs, game 3 from Petco. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. It is 5-3 Chicago. Padres got one runner on in the bottom of the 8th. Once again, it is 5-3 Cubs in the bottom of the 8th. We got more NBA playoff games coming up today at 4 o'clock. The Magic will try and close out the number 1 seed Pistons. At 4:30, it is going to be the Raptors at Cleveland. And right here on San Diego Sports 760, we got Lakers Rockets game 5. Pregame coverage will begin at 6:45, and we'll have the tip a little after 7 o'clock. Ready to upgrade to the perfect sleep setup? Let Mattress Firm's sleep experts guide you to the perfect bed at the Memorial Day sale. Top brands, ideal comfort, score unbeatable deals on both. Mattress Firm, they make sleep easy.
All right, Schaefer and Sliwa. And again, the Aztec spring football game is this Saturday on the Mesa at the Aztec practice fields at San Diego State. We're broadcasting live from both that and also the Aztec Link Coryell Classic, sponsored by Evotech. That's Friday out at Riverwalk. And Bill Hammett's with us right now from Aztec Link to talk a little bit about this weekend and San Diego State football and Aztec Link as well. But Bill, first of all, we appreciate you joining us here on 760.
Hey, listen, man, appreciate you having me. And we got a big weekend of Aztec football and Aztec sports going on.
Let's go.
I know, and we're excited about it. Can you, for our listeners that aren't familiar, because it's a new world with NIL and rev share, can you talk about the role that specifically Aztec Link plays maybe for San Diego State football and or other student athletes, but the specific role Aztec Link plays for Aztec football?
Yeah, Aztec Link is the NIL program, the official NIL program of Aztec Athletics. Everything other than men's and women's basketball, with a focus on football. Of course, that's where a lot of the money is needed. But we also do a lot of work for men's and women's golf, for all the other Olympic sports on the Mesa.
How do you guys? Again, I think it's always good to probably re-educate any of our listeners on it. And who knows, maybe we can get more people that are invested, like you mentioned, into the football program, some of the other programs at San Diego State University. What are ways to San Diegans can help? And maybe you can tell us where exactly, if somebody does want to contribute or does want to help from an NIL front, how exactly that works.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of NIL programs are funded by a couple of big old whales, you know, and every program needs that. And we are lucky at San Diego State to have a lot of very, very generous people that help with the program. But they say many hands makes light work, and we're trying to give everybody an opportunity to be a part of the success, part of the new Pac-12 football that's coming to San Diego, and trying to play top 25 football every year. And the way we can do that through this golf tournament and through other activities is letting people have access to the football program, letting people have access to things they want, vacations, sporting goods, experiences, that they can pay for, they can bid on, they can get their hands on. So real return on investment through silent auction items that are on the internet right now.
All right. So again, the 2026 Aztec Link Coryell Classic Golf Tournament, the live auction is underway. Bill, to your point, Bill Hammett with us right now from Aztec Link. So you don't have to be attending this event on Friday. Like, you don't have to be playing on Friday to take part in the silent auction that's online at azteclink.com right now. Is that correct?
Absolutely not. You know, there is only room for 144 golfers on a course, but with the internet and with taking advantage of technology, we have an amazing list of 50 plus auction items that are live at azteclink.com right now. If you go to azteclink.com, a little pop-up will show up there and you'll be able to view all of the different items that are available. And we have got a tremendous list for people that are sports fans, sports memorabilia people, or people that just like experiences that you can't even get otherwise. Things like going fishing, going deep sea fishing with Coach Lewis, or shadowing the GM for a day of fall camp. If you're really wondering what it's like in the new world of Aztec football or in big NIL sports, you can spend the day with our GM. You can have lunch and a film session with an assistant coach. So there is a ton of experiences on top of trips to Maui and Coeur d'Alene and playing golf with student athletes at the Crosby, just tons of stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking at the site right now. Pretty good here. 7 nights in West Maui. Sign me up. We can do a couple of shows from there.
Yeah.
Any way we can help. You know, we're just doing this for the program. You did mention, the goal, San Diego State football, to be a top 25 program in the country. Can you just, from your perspective, from your seat, how close do you think San Diego State is to being where they want to be? Of course, everybody's excited about San Diego State joining the Pac-12. Just what do you think it looks like here over the next couple of years? And what in your mind would be a perfect vision for SDSU football down the road?
Yeah, there is a path in the college football playoff for the best of the rest conferences. Obviously, we're not the Big Ten and the SEC, but people up on the Mesa will tell you that they feel very confident in the new playoff system, that it gives us a chance to be one of the best of those non-Power 4 schools. Coach Lewis and his team have brought a ton of energy and a ton of talent. One of the best recruiting classes coming into the new Pac-12 is coming onto the Mesa right now. And with the transfer portal and with NIL, we have an opportunity to really change our fortunes very quickly. So I think it's a very realistic situation for you to see San Diego State in the top 25 and sneaking into the playoff, and then hope. And then once you get into the party, man, you never know what can happen.
Would love to absolutely see it. Obviously, for our listeners, obviously Aztec fans, just for the city of San Diego, for the Aztecs to win the Pac-12 in the inaugural year of the new Pac-12 and potentially reach that college football playoff under Sean Lewis. Bill Hammett's with us right now from Aztec Link. Tell us what you're looking forward to about Saturday, spring football back in the Mesa at the practice fields. Again, we're getting closer, right? We're still 3-4 months out, but we're getting closer to the start of the regular season. But how much are you looking forward to not just Friday, but Saturday's spring football game as well?
Yeah. It's a great weekend. And on Saturday, we're going to see our boys running around. You're not going to probably see a couple of the starters. Our expected starter is going to be sitting out, but there is a lot of exciting new players out there, faces you don't really know about. And I know we love to fall in love with the people we like, but this also gives us an opportunity to see new explosive players that are coming in from other places. We got tight ends for days. We've got new linemen. We've got a whole secondary we're trying to replace. We just had a first rounder go, and we're going to be looking to see who's going to be stepping into those shoes and who's going to be the next first round draft pick.
Bill, how tough is it to just kind of predict what the future of college football is going to be down the road? And or is it one of those predicaments and situation where you can't predict it and just worry about today, and whatever happens down the road happens down the road?
Yeah, I mean, I think more than ever, this is a year-to-year deal. There is no guarantees. I saw one coach somewhere say, I almost like, I think it was Bobby Hurley or Hurley up in Yukon said, I almost like to hear that these guys have to recommit to our program every year. And so I think that's what we bring out here is Coach Lewis and his staff are putting together a program with an attitude that people want to be a part of. And, when I was being recruited, I wanted to come play at a place that was on the way up, and San Diego State is most definitely on the way up.
Bill, we appreciate you taking time for us. We're looking forward to the events this weekend, Friday, again out at Riverwalk. It is the Don Coryell Classic. And again, that silent auction underway right now. You can support San Diego State football. You don't have to be attending on Friday, but you can support San Diego State football. Visit azteclink.com and then get out to the Mesa on Saturday. That's a free event for the spring game this Saturday on the Mesa at San Diego State. Bill, appreciate you taking time for us. We'll see you this weekend, all right?
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks, gentlemen.
All right, great stuff from Bill Hammett at Aztec Link.
Cool, really, by the way, really cool live auction stuff.
Amazing, dude.
Genuinely really cool live auction stuff.
Honestly,
go to that website, at azteclink.com, and you can click, says live auction. It just started. Phenomenal stuff that obviously goes to the benefit of San Diego State University.
All right, so while Fernando Tatis Jr. remains homerless, he has pulled the Padres closer and done his job. It's a 5-4 game with the Cubs leading in the 8th. And the Padres have a runner at third with only one out, with a chance to tie the score in the 8th inning. Back-to-back walks issued by the Cubs, opening the door for the Padres in this back-and-forth game at Petco this afternoon.
Tatis looked frustrated right there.
Yeah, because he just missed it.
Yeah, and that's kind of his season, right? Just missing it. And, we were joking around a little bit earlier about how everybody just keeps talking about how hard he's hitting the ball, but still says 0 home runs and does not have an extra base hit. I think we said since April 11th.
Yep.
Padres battling here. I mean, this is, I think to me, and we've talked about just the big guns, right? The big boys. When they're in a situation like they're in, you're down 5-3, you got the bases loaded, and you have Tatis and Machado. You're two two big boys at the plate, you have to tie the game. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm just in general, right? These are when your big boys need to come through, and we'll see if they're able to do it or if they're not. But you can't ask for a better predicament of situation. You can't ask for a better predicament for the Cubs to walk the bases loaded in the 8th inning. So we'll see what they do from here.
Completely opening the door. However, the Cubs will lead through 8, 5-4 as Manny Machado grounds into an inning-ending double play. But that is, you just made a great point. When you are gifted the bases loaded with nobody out for Fernando Tatis Jr. and Manny Machado, you have to, at a minimum, come through in that spot. You just have to manufacture a couple of runs.
If I'm being honest with you, and I hate to say this, but there's certain games where you're like, you just don't feel like they're going to win, nor do they deserve to win.
Is that this
game?
The
Cubs have 9 hits. The Padres have 3.
Right.
Yep. And again, just to kind of go back to it, you got the bases loaded with Tatis and Machado coming up. And your best, arguably your best bat, Xander Bogaerts, doesn't even get an opportunity because Machado grounds into a double play. It happens to the best of them, but these are the types of games. It's like if I told you you're down 5-3, by the way, you're getting out hit 9-3, and you have Tatis, Machado, and Xander coming up. And if you walk out of that inning, it's 5-4, and Machado grounds into a double play, and and Tatis just gets the sac fly. You just don't deserve to win that game. So again, the world's not going to end, but we just got very excited for something that was very anticlimactic.
We don't think the world is going to end. I would agree with that. Regardless of result today, we were not expecting it to end.
You never know.
All right, an update from Petco. They head to the 9th. Cubs trying to win a series. They lead the Padres 5-4. Andrew Wiebe covers Major League Soccer for Apple TV. He's a reporter. He's doing sidelines this weekend for SDFC and LAFC. He's scheduled to join us at 4 p.m., and then we're putting a bow on this series with Kevin Acee, our Padres Insider, at 5:30. Here until 6. Don't go anywhere. Great giveaways today as well. Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, San Diego Sports 760. Schaefer and Sluwa hanging out on this Wednesday afternoon.
You're pretty fresh for doing the airport.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, here's the thing. I'm not running a 4-minute mile. Did you see someone ran a 2-hour marathon and finished in second place? He's sub two hour marathon.
And they got second place?
Like, that's not acceptable.
Do better.
No, that's where you're getting participation.
The 4:33 average mile time.
I was about to say, dude, the treadmill doesn't even allow you to do 1 mile at 4:33 at Orange Theory.
4:33 average mile time.
26 times.
But he got what
second?
He ended up in second. Why are we talking about this? Why are we talking about the second place guy is what I'm trying to figure out.
What did the winner have?
That's what I'm saying. How
would
is
he win
the second
easily,
place
or was
guy?
It like 0.1 Imagine losing a marathon by like 0.2 seconds.
Pick it up.
Pick it up. But that's what I'm saying. It's not like I did a sub 2 hour marathon.
You did not. I have this just sheer anger and disgust right now that there's nothing you could tell me about this marathon runner because Machado grounded into a double play.
Well, speaking of someone not running a sub 2 hour marathon, so I mean, Manny's hobbled right now. He's dealing with a leg injury. Yeah. He missed a day. He's DHing. To his credit, he's back in there. Who knows what he's really dealing with? So we're looking at each other during that conversation with Bill Hammett from Aztec Link. We're like, just do anything productive. Because first and third in a one-run game, like sack fly scores a run, base hit scores a run. Like there's ways to get that tying run in.
Sure.
We're just like, don't hit the ball on the ground, dude. Anything on the ground, he can't run.
And Tatis did his job.
He did.
With the bases loaded. Not only did he score the runner from third, but he moved the runner from second to third. So it's kind of in Manny's hands here. I thought actually for a quick second there, which you're right, because of the injury, I'm like, do they walk him just to load the bases up and kind of get out of?
Can't run.
I was just going to say that not only do you not do that because of that. Oh, Jesus. Not only do you not do that because of that situation, but Xander's your hottest bat.
I know.
So you're not allowing Xander.
They should have told Manny. I joke when I say this. Here's what they tell Manny next time.
Don't swing.
Just stand there. Make sure Xander gets the plate. Man, what a difference a month makes. Can you believe I'm even joking about that?
And Machado was balling out before he got, I know. Lifted in that game.
The 3-hit game.
Tuesday night? No, yeah. Monday night.
3-hit game plus the 2-homer game on Sunday.
That's right.
Then he tweaks a leg, and that's okay. I mean, that's not his fault, obviously. But again, they were in a spot.
Again, all you're asking for is put the ball in the
fly.
air. Just put the ball in the air.
I'm not even asking to take the lead. I mean, you'd love to see it. You'd love Tatis's first home run to be a grand slam in that spot. You'd love Machado to rip a 2-run double to right center field and take a 6-5 lead, but we weren't even asking for that.
I'm 1,000% no longer talking about Tatis and hitting a home run. There's just no point in doing that. I'm not.
How is it going to? What's your level of surprise going to be no matter where you are on earth? Could be watching an NBA playoff game. Why, could be in studio.
But why surprise? It would be like about time.
Yeah, but it's because like I'm almost at the point like, how is it going to happen? Is it going to be an inside the Parker? Can you imagine that? Counts. Imagine his first home run of the year is an inside the Parker.
I'm going to sound like a Debbie Downer. You know how it's going to happen?
Where?
In an insignificant game, which is
down
fine.
8 or up 8,
which is fine. Just have it happen so it just gets out of your way.
Yeah,
just get it. Literally have that no longer be a part of the conversation. Got Mason Miller in right now. You said this a little bit earlier. They're definitely. This is one of those games where obviously they decided, especially when they tied the game at 3 apiece, they're going for it. They've used Maury Home. They've used Jason Adam. They're using Mason Miller, and they got tomorrow off.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going with it. It's like this is one of those days where because you have tomorrow off, it's not like you're wasting bullets, so to speak. Like Miller will be available when the White Sox series starts, presumably. Although the bullpen struggles have so we'll see if they can keep it 5-4. Right. If they keep it 5-4, by the way. Again, the Cubs walked the bases loaded in the 8th inning. The Cubs are dealing with bullpen injuries themselves and some level of ineffectiveness. So not like this game is over. And this would be another one of them. They've already had 5 or 6 in April where it's rabbit out of hat, unconventional, improbable, just great wins. Can they find a way to do it one more time into an off day?
You know what's so stupid that we do as fans? Like they're at this number right now. Their record today is 19-10, right?
Yep.
Don't you just want that clean 2010?
It's clean.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Who wants a 19-11?
Only a
wants
team
to-
that's
and go-
18-11.
Yeah. Going into a day off tomorrow, now we got to talk about 1911. The stat that you mentioned a little bit earlier, which was honestly one of my favorite freaking years in my life growing up in San Diego, was 1998 when the Padres made the World Series. That was one of the coolest sports moments I've ever had, the city has ever experienced. And unfortunately, they got swept by the Yankees. But the last time they had 20 wins in their first 30 games was 1998. It was the only time
Last and only.
they've had 20 wins in their first 30 games.
By the way, that 98 team, so now I'm wondering, were they 20-10 or were they better?
I think they were 21-9. I think that's what I heard
Look
the
at you,
stat.
man. You're right. They were 21-9 on their way to 22-9. So,
Balling out that year.
man, but again, no matter how this plays out today, again, baseball is such a forest through the trees game. You can't be like, oh, they lost a series. Yeah, teams do lose series. The 98 Padres lost a series. So did the 98 Yankees. By the way, obviously, every team in baseball history over 162 loses a series. So you just gotta see what you're seeing, regardless of whether you're winning every game or losing games. And what I'm seeing isn't necessarily a team that should be winning at a 667 clip. It's just my point. I'm seeing a team that I'm confident in. But when we talk about the bullpen things, we talked about it 30 or 40 minutes ago. I talk about Machado, Tatis, Merrill. We're talking about that consistently once again here today. It's just, I don't know if my eyes are showing me a team that's 20-10 or 19-11 based on some of the things we talked about. Is my only point. And by the way, things change. Hopefully their bullpen will be better. I think Machado, Tatis, and Merrill all can be better. But I'm just telling you, based on what I've seen, it's impressive is my point that they've reached this point.
Can I This is so dumb, but I'm going to go back to this real quick. All I think about in 98, and again, we're only referencing this because of their record and a chance to do something they haven't done since 1998. It's the only time they've done in Padres history. I got two gripes. Do you remember at all? And you shouldn't. You shouldn't remember any of the 98 World Series, right? Like there's no reason why you'd remember it.
Game one, Gwynn.
Tony Gwynn churns on one. Greg Vaughn, I think, churns on one as well.
Yeah, there's some
They
moments
went up
in there.
early.
Yeah.
In that game, and I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, and every San Diegan, most who are watching that series would know what I'm talking about. There was a relief pitcher, Mark Langston, came in for the Padres on a 2-2 count. Were the bases loaded on a 2-2 count?
Okay.
And the game was tied, I want to say 5 apiece. And when I say Mark Langston threw a pitch right down the freaking middle.
It was literally splitting the plate in 4.
I'll try to find it.
Yeah.
Gets called a ball.
Oh, really?
And Langston was starting to walk off the mound. Clearly that's a strike. So they called a ball. Next pitch, I want to say was a grand slam. Might have been Knobloch. It might have been, was it Scott Brocious? I forget who it was. But anyways, the moment you say 1998, I just think.
Tino Martinez, grand slam.
Or Tino Martinez, that's who it was.
That's insane.
Is the conspiracy theory heard around the world in just San Diego?
Are they still talking about this conspiracy?
They are.
You are, so they are.
I'm still talking about it. It's one of the worst freaking pitches I've ever seen.
All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to put a bow on this game when it goes final. We'll hear from, I think, acting manager Randy Knorr post-game. Padres right now trailing the Cubs 5-4. But on the other side, Andrew Wiebe, reporter for MLS on Apple TV as SDFC gets ready for LAFC on Saturday at Snapdragon Stadium. He'll join us for a few minutes on the other side. Tino Martinez hit that grand slam. Then we'll react to this Padres game. And Kevin Acee will join us at 5:30 plus giveaways in the final 2 hours of the show. Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
This update is sponsored by True Green. Padres and Cubs just finished game 3 of their series at Petco Park. The Cubs won 5-4. Ramon Laureano struck out to end the game. Coming up, we got 3 more games in the NBA playoffs. In about 10 minutes from now, Orlando is going to try and close out the number 1 seed Pistons. At 4:30, we got the Raptors at Cleveland. And right here on San Diego Sports 760, beginning at 6:45, we've got Lakers Rockets at game 5. True Green, the easiest way to get a golf course quality lawn. Don't wait. Sign up at truegreen.com and get your first application for $9.95. True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour. Let the pros do the work so you can enjoy your weekend. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
All right, hour 2, Schaefer and Sliwa. We'll have full reaction to a Padres series loss to the Cubs. That game has just gone final.
Season's over.
The season's over for the 19-11 Padres, who have 132 games remaining in the regular season. Speaking of a team that still has time in the regular season, SDFC getting set for a big one against LAFC at Snapdragon this Saturday. You can hear it right here on San Diego Sports 760 at 6:30 with pre-match coverage beginning at 6 p.m. Andrew Wiebe is with us right now. He'll be on sidelines for this game on Apple TV this upcoming weekend. Andrew, we appreciate you taking time for us in San Diego. And I just want to start with your perspective on what's playing out right now with SDFC. The great first year, but now they've really kind of hit the skids here over the last 6 or 7 matches. Why do you think this is playing out in the manner in which it has been over the last month or so? And thanks again for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. Glad to be in San Diego this weekend. If anybody hears this and has a good Friday dinner recommendation, I am absolutely in the market for that. As far as San Diego, guys, it's deja vu. And it's not deja vu for you, but it's deja vu for anybody in this league that has seen a team early in their expansion journey. Hell, it doesn't matter where you are in your journey. Getting the CONCACAF Champions League with a roster that's just not quite deep enough and then struggle to balance it on multiple fronts. Last year was blessed. Everything was rolling in the right direction for San Diego. When they needed big moments, they got them. Dreyer was absolutely on fire. This year is a year that's going to test your mettle because now you start from the very beginning of the season playing weekend, midweek at a high level with big-time travel down to Mexico, and it just has a way of humbling teams. And not just humbling expansion teams in their second year like San Diego, humbling some of the best teams in MLS history. I mean, I think back to Toronto FC and the juggernaut they had in the late 2010s. They missed the playoffs because of the amount of wear and tear and just emotional, physical stress that the competition put on them. The first year that the Seattle Sounders missed the playoffs in their history was because of balancing CONCACAF Champions League. And this team's DNA is not different. They get the ball, they want the ball, they have the ball, they dominate teams, and the other teams have. What I think has happened is that their depth has been tested, has not responded in the same way it did last year when everything seemed to go their way. And then those moments of just blinding attacking quality have been less frequent. And in large part, I think that's because teams have a little bit of tape. You know, last year it was new. It was novel. It was, oh my God, how can an expansion team do this? This year it's, hey, we saw that for 40 games. We are going to expose ourselves. We're not going to push out, especially away from home. We are going to make San Diego break us down and make that possession be truly lethal. And if it's not, 1 or 2 moments are going to be the difference when you combine that with some disciplinary issues. You just have this tornado of circumstance. You know, I heard Mikey Vera say, like, hey, I know you guys don't want to hear it after that loss against Portland, but it's getting better. I agree with him. But at some point in MLS, you got to pick up some of these points before you hit that World Cup break. Otherwise, you're going to be playing from so far behind that it gets really difficult.
Yeah, Andrew, just to kind of follow up on that, how much of a concern is that? I mean, if you're watching, obviously, MLS games and you know how the West is and how competitive it is, probably more competitive this year than it was a year ago. How much do you worry that they do dig themselves a hole that they can't get out of?
I mean, I think it is a real worry. You know, the nice thing about this year in MLS is that it's a little bit of a reversal from basically every other year, which is that what you were in the beginning of the year, what you were after what was the primary transfer for window for MLS, and that was basically what you were for the whole year. Like, you were going to play 20, 22 games before the window even opened back up. This year, San Diego are going to play like 14, 15 games. We're going to hit a month and a half break. That break is going to include the opening of the transfer window. So whatever Tyler Heaps can do in the summer actually has runway. So that's the big difference. What I don't worry about with San Diego is the style of play and the identity, guys. They have that. Like, it is so ingrained in this team. Even in these losses, you still see it. It's those moments that we saw last year. It's scoring by committee. It's those players that you didn't know stepping up and playing either, at a best 11 level or close to it in mass that really fueled that rise. Like, they need to find a way to get more of their guys playing at a high level. And I got to tell you, first and foremost, you cannot see red cards in 5 straight games. You can't do it and be a successful winning team in this league or any league. So that discipline's got under control ASAP. Andrew
Wiebe with us right now. He'll be on the sidelines Saturday, SDFC and LAFC. How much of a factor is what LAFC's schedule looks like here, just in whether it's Saturday, but again, the semifinal legs against Toluca in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, and then also playing again this weekend in San Diego? That's got to be a factor, for LAFC huge as well moving forward.
Oh, huge. I mean, you guys know the buzzsaw that the Red Devils of Toluca. Like, this is a competition. In particular, this is a group, a team that requires 100% focus. And LAFC are playing a competition where I think you logically have to prioritize it and say what matters most is keeping players fit, healthy, and able to withstand the rigors of these midweek games. We have a championship level, commitment here. So I would be surprised if Marcos Santos did not rotate at least a little bit. He has been talking for a long time about, like, hey, we're a little bit emotionally tired. We're a little bit worn down. But he hasn't been big in terms of rotation. They've got some players coming back from injury. I would think that at San Diego would be a logical time to take a not your foot off the gas, but just to say, hey, let's spell some of these guys. Let's give the longer 30 minutes. Let's give Sun 30 minutes. But listen, pay attention to it, because that match against Toluca could really tell the tale. If they lose 4-0, which everything is on the table, as you well know, in this competition against Toluca, that might change the math. If they win, if it's a close game, that will change the math. So if I was a San Diego fan, I'd be watching tonight and trying to sort of extrapolate along, hey, what does that mean for our game on Saturday?
Just one follow-up to Saturday's game. What do you think that could do for San Diego FC if the way they've been struggling, if they walked away with a win against LAFC on Saturday night? How much do you think that could just change the momentum, the scope, the feeling around the city of San Diego right now, hoping SDFC gets back on track? What can a win against LAFC do?
I mean, I think it's really everything. That's not just this match. It's every match here through the World Cup break. There has to be a feeling in that locker room right now of, like, no matter what we do, the other shoe drops. Like, I see it on the faces of players when the cards have been coming out of, like, are you kidding me with this? This again? San Diego need to rebuild that momentum. This is a momentum league, and a win against LAFC is arguably, I would say, the best win in the league right now, particularly in the Western Conference. So Mikey Veras is in a tough time. Really his first tough one as a manager in terms of results piling up on top of him on the wrong side of the ledger. For this whole group, Saturday is absolutely crucial, and I think it's more emotional than anything else. Just to say, hey, we're back on the right path. We are still ourselves. We are still one of the best teams in this conference. Let's use the next month and a half to go prove it, and we'll take a little bit of breather in the summer, reload with some new players, and push them from there. But right now, I think because of the results, you're seeing stories that aren't necessarily the on-the-field ones take center stage. We saw that with Truki recently. The more they can win, the more they can refocus it back on what was so successful after, which was 18 guys pulling in the same direction, understanding who they are, and everybody playing hero. And, oh, by the way, Anders Dreyer being an MVP.
Looking forward to it Saturday night right here on San Diego Sports 760 at 6:30 with pre-match coverage at 6 p.m. Andrew Wiebe will be doing sidelines on Apple TV for the showdown in Southern California. Andrew, we appreciate you taking time for us here this afternoon. Thanks for doing it.
Hey, thanks, boys.
All right, great stuff from Andrew Wiebe. Again, you can hear that match coming up Saturday at 6:30. Padres series against the Cubs has gone final. They do fall 5-4. They go 1-2-3 in the ninth. They rallied in the eighth, but couldn't push across the tying run despite having that runner at third with only one out for Manny Machado. And it's the first series loss for the Padres in their last 8 because they had 6 wins and a tie in the prior 7 series. So it's going to happen over the course of a season. This is kind of a disappointing one considering, to your point, I don't know if it was earned. They had 3 hits, but it was silver plattered to them in the 8th inning. Bases loaded on walks. You get a run in, there's only 1 out, and then Manny Machado grounds into that double play.
Yeah, they've had, if you look at how many runs, and I don't know what the exact total is, the Cubbies, most of their runs came with 2 outs this series. They had clutch hit after clutch hit against the Padres and just really didn't play. I mean, you just kind of look at the last 4 games for the Padres. They've lost 3 of 4. They lost that last one against Arizona. The bad taste in your mouth. You're up 7-1. You end up losing that game. What was the final score? Maybe 12-7, something along those lines. Yeah. You come back with a win against Chicago, and then you drop the next 2 against the Cubbies. Today was frustrating. I would say just more predominantly because they had to play from behind the entire game. The bullpen you couldn't rely on the bullpen. And I'm talking about their big guns. I mean, Morion gave up a run. Jason Adam gave up a run. Mason Miller came in and was close to giving up a run. Obviously, Jackson Merrill made a nice play to save that inning. And then when you needed your big bats to show up for you, and Manny Machado wasn't able to do it, and Padres lose 5-4, but they have lost 3 of 4. They are 19-11 through the first 30 games. There's still a lot good to talk about, but these last 4 games they're showing some holes here that maybe that's what a lot of these other experts are talking about, that eventually the Padres are going to come back down to earth.
Like a month ago, if you would have told me, hey, this elite bullpen, they're going to turn to Adrian Morejon and Bradley Rodriguez and Jason Adam and Mason Miller, you're thinking there's a decent chance you're going to hold an opponent scoreless. If they did that today, they win. If Morejon and Adam are clean in this game, they would have won the game. They would have found a way. They got the bases loaded walks. There's a very good chance they win this game 4-3. The issue with the Padres, and we talked about this in the first hour of the show, and I'm sure a lot of people were watching or potentially listening to the Padres. The Padres bullpen came into the day 17th in baseball in team ERA, in bullpen ERA.
When you started looking that up, to kind of, because I know you were trying to figure out where are they.
It was great. I wasn't thinking it was top 10.
I would have thought it was like maybe 10 or 11, somewhere
maybe
around
10 or
there.
11 is what I was thinking too. I think 17th was lower than I expected. Now, maybe there's an asterisk, the 10 runs allowed in Mexico City in 2 innings. It's one of the worst performances by their bullpen ever. There's very few examples of their bullpen allowing more than 10 runs in fewer than 2 innings, and there's only been 30 games. But that right now is sticking out to me like a sore thumb. This highly decorated bullpen has been below league average on the year. That's going to have to change. The record's great, but I mean, you're not going to want to get into a postseason. I know it's 5 months from now and be like, well, the bullpen's okay. No, your bullpen has to be your strength, because if you do have leads, they need to be preserved.
Yeah, but here's my only issue with putting everything on the bullpen.
I'm not putting it all on the bullpen.
There's just, I do feel like there's this trickle down effect right now that's happening. There are way too many games where you're handing the ball to the bullpen in the 5th.
Right.
Sometimes earlier than that, sometimes a little bit later than that. Estrada is obviously, he's battling to come back and make it, get back with the Padres. I think Matt Waldron is clearly not the answer for them while Nick Pavetta's out. Marquez and Walker Buehler, anytime they take them out, I don't know what's going to happen, right? Like I don't have much confidence either way. So I think that this is maybe a few things going wrong at the same time, or it could also just be when you lose arguably your best starting pitcher, there's going to be an effect, a trickle down effect. It's been about 2.5 weeks now since Nick Pivetta has been out. And maybe now we're starting to see, okay, well, if you got only 2 reliable starters, then things are not going to go as planned. And I think things technically, you're starting to talk specifically about that bullpen, clearly hasn't gone as planned with that bullpen.
And truthfully, today is a day where it's like, yeah, the bullpen wasn't great. Matt Waldron wasn't great.
The defense wasn't great.
Defense wasn't great. The offense didn't have a hit until there were 2 outs in the 5th inning. They had just 3 for the game. This is like, hey, your offense, defense, and special teams have mistakes. Yeah. Turn the ball over on a muff punt. You know, like it wasn't good in any area. The fact that they could have stolen this game still reflects that they could have stolen this game.
They didn't deserve, I would say, that's the right way to put it. They could have stolen it. I mean, hell, the first inning, Waldron's got the bases loaded with 1 out, and Xander makes a great play to get a double play.
Yeah.
Then there's more traffic in the second inning. I mean, the Cubbies outplayed the Padres today. And if they'd have won this game or tied it, it would have been stealing the game, not necessarily deserving to win the game.
Let's hear from acting manager Randy Noor on the other side, as Craig Stammen missed the end of last night's game and today's because he was flying to a funeral for a personal matter, obviously. So Craig Stammen wasn't with the team here today. So we'll hear from the acting manager, the veteran coach, Randy Noor, on the other side. We'd love to hear from you as well. Are there any concerns at 19-11? Like, is there something you're seeing other than the record that is concerning? 877-767-4760. That's 877-767-4760, or text us 70470. Started with the word team. Plus, our Padres Insider Kevin Acee will join us live from Petco coming up at 5:30 on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Schaefer and Slee with San Diego Sports 760. We'll hear from acting Padres manager Randy Knorr. Again, Craig Stammen not with his team today, traveling to tend to a funeral. So Randy Knorr speaking on behalf of the club after a 5-4 loss to the Cubs today.
You are doing some deep dives.
I'm doing deep dives, dude.
Into the bullpen and into Tatis.
I had a 6-hour flight with free Wi-Fi because I was an American Airlines member. There's just I have the number, I have a number.
Must be nice, Brent.
Well, I just use Kristen's.
Oh, member over here, huh?
I'm not I don't have free access to the cockpit, which I think is illegal. But
Mr. Schaefer,
by the way,
welcome.
Remember yesterday I'm I hate turbulence?
C7.
Remember yesterday I'm I hate turbulence?
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's man, turbulence, let's roll.
Well, that's how you set it up yesterday. Literally, you said, I'm not a turbulence guy.
I said I wasn't
turbulence
pro
guy?
Turbulence, right?
Yeah, that's exactly how you said it. Yes.
By the way, the whole flight turbulence. No joke. Not the whole flight. Hours. I'm just shaking. And I'm can I get off this thing? But of course I couldn't.
Really? Was it bad?
Yes. I fly a good amount with San Diego State. This was bad.
Okay. Because I feel women are pretty good in these high leverage situations.
Yeah, she didn't care.
Look, that's what I mean.
She was making me she's what are you talking about?
Now, if she was worried, now your worry level goes to a whole different level.
I looked at the flight attendants.
Because we're idiots.
Yeah, the flight attendants were on their phones, handing out water. You know what I mean? So I don't think anyone was concerned other than me.
It was barely even. It was literally some guy that moved your chair because he was trying to get through to go use the restroom. Kicking
my chair. But anyway, in my 5.5 hours, I looked up Padres bullpen ERA and their last 7 games where their bullpen ERA is over 9. And I bought a $9 a month StatHead subscription at Baseball Reference.
$9 a month.
Because I could use queries where I could be 29 games to start a year, no home runs. Tell me how many the most has ever been hit from that point forward in baseball history in a single season.
Do we have that answer?
I couldn't get the answer, and I want my $9 back. But now I took the question to social media, and someone said the record, someone, take that for what it's worth, is Alfonso Soriano 2012 Cubs hit 32 after going homerless in his first 30 games. Grok doesn't even have the answer. Someone asked Grok, we don't know that. You got to ask Baseball Reference.
You got to be careful with the AI stuff, the chat GPT, all that stuff. You throw something in. The most frustrating thing, and then we'll go back to Tatis not hitting a home run his first 30 games, is when you type something in to ChatGPT and it's so wrong, and then you say you're wrong, and it's oh, that must be frustrating. Yeah, it is a little frustrating.
You pretended it was fact.
And I'm paying you for this.
Yeah, I even called out ChatGPT today. I'm dude. I said, bro, they're I understand your frustration. I'm why don't you say that? It told me the most home runs ever hit in a single season when going homerless in 29 games is Barry Bonds hitting 73. And I'm there is no chance. I look, he homered on opening day. I'm yo, dude, you're pretending this is fact.
What is happening here with AI? I thought we were depending on AI.
Gosh.
Now all of a sudden we're not.
Should we hear from Randy Knorr for a couple of minutes? Let's hear from Randy Knorr for a couple of minutes. Where does this start, Brent? The starts at the Padres bullpen on cue. Okay. Randy Knorr, acting manager.
Yeah, we figured if we can just get one more run in there with Jason and Mason coming in the game, we felt pretty good. And we just couldn't quite get there. We just could not get that extra run in there.
Any sense of what happened on the play with Jackson in the second out there at center field? Off his glove.
From the beginning, the first pop-up of the game, really, it looked like it was a bad sign. He went back to get it. He actually kept the ball in the yard. I don't know. I didn't ask him about it, but it just looked like he tried the best to keep bringing it back, and he kicked off his glove and stayed in the park.
What you think of the way that Matt was able to kind of overcome a couple things and make it through the 5?
I thought he did fantastic for us. I really did. He kept us in the game. Like I said yesterday, that if we could keep it within 3 as a starter, 5-6 innings, it gives us a chance to come back. And, we did get back in it. We just couldn't get the extra run.
In particular, the fact that he had to kind of maybe deal with the sun balls that dropped, and he kind of worked around those. What do you make of kind of his resilience in that spot?
I think it was a hell of a try. I mean, he went up against the wall to catch the ball to bring it back. Is that the one you're talking about?
I'm just talking about Waldron, kind of dealing with some early adversity and the way he was able to.
He didn't panic at all. He stayed with it. He made some pitches and kind of get himself out of that damage there. And I'm very proud of him the way he pitched today.
Wondering how you view we're now through April or the April games, and the Stars really haven't hit like stars, and yet you're 19-12. I guess there's kind of two ways of looking at that. But kind of what are your thoughts on that and the way that's gone for the lineup?
I'm pretty excited because at some point, you look at the back of the baseball card and they all hit the same at the end of the year. So I'm waiting for them to get hot, and once they get hot, we're going to roll off a bunch of wins again. So it's just a matter of time waiting for them to get ready and feel comfortable again. And sometimes guys get off to slow starts, but at the end of the season, they usually end up hitting the same all year.
We didn't get a chance to talk to you before. I wanted to ask you, I know Taillon had the reverse splits. You guys went with France over Sheets, and Camposano caught Waldron when Fermin had last time. So it matter of staying.
Yeah, they're all swinging the bat really well. Gavin took one off the elbow yesterday. He was trying his best to stay ready the whole game and basically waiting for somebody to get on. And with France swinging the bat well and Bogart swinging the bat well, I get somebody on there, I could pop them. And I kind of had a feeling they might go with a lefty, but I'll match up Laureano with a lefty anytime, any day of the week. So we just didn't get it done today.
You're putting Jackson top of the order. Your thoughts on that? Trying to.
Yeah, get something going. Laureano had the day off, and figured put Jackson up there and let him try that for a little bit, and see if it can motivate us to get going in the first. We've been not hitting that great going into the game, the first couple innings, so I'll mix it up a little bit.
What did you think of this series? Two good teams that met in the playoffs last year, and the quality of baseball and the matchups. Looks like today you had a lot to think about with late game substitutions and stuff like that.
Oh, I think it's great. I think it's great for them as well. The atmosphere, they know this is a pretty good team. We stayed with them the whole way. I'm actually looking forward to playing them again. I think we're going to be better when we see them again.
All right, that's Randy Noor. Again, Craig Stammen not with the team, traveling for a funeral. We'll react to a Padres 5-4 loss to the Cubs, a series loss as well. We'll get to the wrap ahead. And Kevin Acee joins us live, our Padres Insider at 5:30. You heard him there with that post-game press conference with Randy Noor. This is Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. The Padres lost game 3 of their series with the Cubs 5-4 today down at Petco Park. We have 3 more games in the NBA playoffs tonight. Right now, with about 3 minutes to go in the first quarter, the Pistons are up 32-20 over the Magic, and they're about to tip off here in about 10 minutes in Cleveland when they are getting ready to take on the Raptors. We've got game 5 of the Rockets and Lakers series right here on San Diego Sports 760. Our pregame coverage will begin at 6:45, and we'll have the tip a little after 7. Spring into deals at Lowe's. Shop STA Green Premium 2 cubic feet mulch, 5 bags for $10. Plus, get up to 35% off select major appliances. Valid through 5/6. Mulch offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii. While supplies last, selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
All right, San Diego Sports 760. I want to do this. Let's give away Motley Crue tickets this hour. How about that? Motley Crue coming to San Diego September 18th. And we've got a pair of tickets to give away this hour. And then next hour, let's give away a pair of tickets to see Santana in San Diego this August. So a pair of great giveaways for you coming up. And Kevin Acee will join us coming up at 5:30. We'll get to the NBA postseason. Lakers trying to close out a series, for example, tonight. You somehow are here, but you're going to be there.
Yeah.
But that doesn't, what's it, the LT theory? It's, what is it, 40 minutes? It's
90.
It's not long. What is it, 50 minutes to LA from here?
To get to LA?
Yeah, it's like maybe an hour.
Yeah, I can get there in probably 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
I could be in the arena.
Fully parked.
Yeah. So we finished the show at 6.
Well, you'll be in the arena, what, 6:50?
I will be asking JJ Redick a question
6:39
from my phone on speaker.
Yeah, exactly. No, you wouldn't really do that, would you?
No.
You have to be in arena to do that now.
That's me in arena. That's right. There was the
COVID
time where nobody had to move.
I know.
It's any question, anytime.
Just be sitting there and like
you had to raise your hand. You had to hit the Zoom to raise your hand.
Hand emoji.
Yep.
Zoom. We'll get into the NBA postseason coming up in 10 or so minutes. Randy Knorr, you just heard a few minutes ago, he's the acting manager for Craig Stammen. He's not with the team, traveling for a funeral. Had a few interesting things today. What were your takeaways? What was your primary takeaway hearing from Randy Knorr there just a few minutes ago?
I think, what he's saying about the Stars. Stars haven't performed. There's really a lot of different ways you could look at the Padres season. They're freaking 19-11. They got off to a great start. Now they did screw up our 1998 run that we wanted. Yeah. They're 19-11. And that's with a lot of players that you thought would have. I'll just give. We were just talking about Cronenworth, who completely goes under the radar, right? Especially if these other players aren't balling out. Coming into the game, I think he's batting 149. You said he's 146 right now.
0 for 2 today.
All right. You have Jackson Merrill, who's also not having. It's not like Merrill is going out there and is having an unbelievable season. We know Tatis hasn't had an extra base hit since April 11th.
Mm-hmm.
Just a double. Not since April 11th. And Machado, who just started rolling, then ends up dealing with an issue, and today he grounds into a double play. That is the difference of the game. Padres can't tie up the game in the 8th inning because Machado grounds into a double play. He said that once those guys start rolling, basically, in a sense, watch out for the Padres. Yeah, I'm trying to think to my head, like, of these guys, which ones do I feel, they're going to eventually get it going, and which ones that every game that goes by, I start losing a little bit of confidence in?
We'll take those 4 then. Machado, Merrill, Tatis, Cronenworth. Rank them. Most confident
Machado
to least confident. Easy is Machado. I agree.
And I got my front and back set.
You're least confident in Crony.
You're most confident in Machado. And then the question between the two, you going Merrill?
Yeah, I just am. Right. I think he's been a more consistent hitter over these last 3 years than Fernando Tatis Jr. Doesn't mean it'll continue.
No, it's fair.
He is hitting 200 on the nose, Jackson Merrill. Tatis is actually hitting 250.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like he's a better, this is crazy to say. I mean, I think he's a better pure hitter over the last 3 seasons than Fernando Tatis Jr. So I would say I'm somewhat a little more confident in Jackson Merrill.
Let's say those guys, their stars do start balling out.
Okay.
Does it just take, again, they're 19-11. So it's not like they've played 500 baseball through the first 30 games.
Or worse,
right?
Mm-hmm.
So what is then becomes their ceiling now? If they're 19-11 now, and they've had a weird season. Now, they've also had incredible comebacks, and they've been very resilient. If I give the Padres this, and I think even with this loss today, they are resilient. Down 3-0, tie at 3 apiece. Down 5-3, are threatening to try. That kind of, I will give them, if there's a theme to this season, there's a little bit of, you got to watch the entire game because they can potentially come back. That part I like about the Padres. They're definitely fighting. Let's say those dudes, or a couple of those guys, start becoming exactly what he said, the interim manager right now, saying that just go look at the back of their baseball card. They'll eventually be that player. How much does that kind of change their trajectory of where they're currently at?
Guess what? You'd love to see another 19-11 30-game stretch. All those guys could hit. The odds of them playing better than 19-11 is incredibly low. Because it's very hard to do that over an extended period of time.
Do they have another 19-11?
Maybe. I mean, we'd love to see that. I mean, potentially. But don't you agree? Like, okay, let's say Toddy hit 7 home runs over a 30-game stretch. They're going 25-5. It's hard to go 25-5.
No.
So, like, what's the high end of a good run?
Brother, if you get another 19-11 stretch over your first 30 games,
basically a lock to go to the postseason.
Yes.
I say that. They 2021, there were 18 or 19 games over 500. Remember that? Like 100 games in. We'd have 61-43, something like that. 60-42. No starting pitching, wheels fell off. They were awful for the final 40 or 50 games.
That is my concern with them right now. We just they gotta, in the next 30 to 45 days, like, are they getting help with their starting rotation? Of course, Lucas Giolito, you're obviously waiting for. And then, I'm not even going to mention the Pivetta names anymore. I'm not going to mention Musgrove anymore. Unless we hear from a Kevin Acee or from a Craig Stammen, I'm just going to pretend those guys are unavailable until they're available. But that is the one piece that will continue. And it happened the moment Nick Pivetta got injured. The moment Nick Pivetta got injured, it was like, all right, this is going to be dangerous. And I think that's going to continue to play out.
Although it would be interesting to know, like, since the moment Pivetta left that game, what is their record? It's got to be good. Is there 19-11? It can't be bad.
Every Waldron start hasn't not been a game where you're like, and listen, today he did give up 3 runs over 5 innings. And to be honest with you, I'd have taken that. I'll take 3 runs in 5 innings.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because, again, the defense wasn't good for him to start off, and he still managed and figured it out.
All right, let's go to the phones here. If you want to weigh in, we'd love to hear from you. Your thoughts on the Padres 30 games in. 877-767-4760. You can text us as well. 70470. Start your message with the word team. Let's go to a loyal listener, Dave, on line 1. Back with us here on 760 and Schaefer and Sliwa. Thanks, Dave.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me again. And thanks for the chit chat with what's going on. Well, you know what? We're fans and we always worry. And, that's the nature of being a fan, is you're always worried about tomorrow. And clearly there's some things to worry about with this team. I think you brought a few of them up, especially, with the starting pitching is still in flux. I don't think that we're solid really anywhere outside of possibly Mike King. And we've also seen some leaks in the Cubs series with the bullpen. We have seen a real leak today at the end of the game at the 9th inning when you need a slug to tie this thing up. We didn't get it, and we don't have it. It takes this team a lot of energy to manufacture runs. And when you get to the bottom ninth, unless you have some miracles happening in that lineup, I'm not sanguine with this. There's nobody there, guys, that scares the opposition in terms of, we're going to have to be very careful here. There's nobody in that lineup that you have to be really, really careful with. Not in the bottom of the 9th when you're down a run like that. At least not today.
Appreciate it, Dave. I mean, it's interesting. You think about the home runs today, Alan, the 3 hits. They go back to back randomly with 2 outs in the 5th inning, and not back to back because there was a walk in there, I think, as well. But Andújar Castellanos hadn't homered, and Andújar's been a nice piece for them. But again, you're not sitting there like, here we go. Here are the big homers. I mean, it was just kind of randomly running into balls.
Yeah, and the guys that have had most production so far this season, I don't know how much they're going to be. Everyone's kind of pitching around them. I don't know how much people are going to pitch around Ty France, how much people are going to pitch around Xander. Right. Now, Xander, I know, has been he's been a phenomenal story so far this year. I don't know how much they're going to say, well, pitch around Gavin Sheets. Now, Gavin Sheets has been clutch. He's had a couple of moments, but you're right. Like, the guys that everyone should be fearing are not the guys that are delivering. Machado should 100% strike fear on whoever's on the mound and whoever's managing. It's like, hey, what do we do with Machado? Tatis, you're at a point now where it's like, I'm sure there are a lot of teams out there. They know that he'll eventually hit some home runs, but you were just saying that 30 games in, the most home runs anybody's ever hit. You said it was Soriano?
According to Grok.
Oh, yeah, that's right. According to Grok.
That's like, I mean,
that was 32 home runs.
But
Tatis ain't hitting 32 home runs this year.
I agree with you. And to your point, he'll enter May. They're not playing again until May because they're off tomorrow. He'll enter May homerless.
Not a home run.
And now you sit on that for another 36 or 48 hours. It's already got to be squarely between your ears.
Yeah.
It's not good for anyone's mental health, probably. This is a guy that in his first 3 years averaged a home run for every 14 plate appearances. I looked it up. From 2019 to 2021, I had a lot of time on this plane. He averaged a home run every 14 and a half plate appearances. He's had how many now? It's 130, 140 plate appearances this year without a home run.
Can you tell me a little more about the American Airlines membership the exclusive membership that you have?
It's not exclusive. The exclusive
one that you have that I think there's 15 people in the United States of America that has this membership.
I can fly anywhere in the world for free.
That's right.
It's incredible. And I went to Philadelphia.
That's right.
All right. On the other side, Alan, is he going to be at a clincher tonight? Lakers and Rockets plus more in the NBA playoffs. The Wrap at 5 p.m. Kevin Acee live at 5:30 from Petco here on Schaefer and Sleewa. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
That was great.
All right, Schaefer and Slew, we really broke it down there at the break.
Well, everything that you put in, we learned a lot from Grok, and we also learned why $10 or $12 on an airplane for internet is a tough decision. It ain't easy.
Well,
I'm with you on that.
We were just touching on this because I had free internet today. It's part of your membership package, which is just being an American.
Did you wear
member?
Which is
no, I wasn't weird.
Like why did you wear a robe on the plane? No, because you're a member.
No, I even sat middle seat today because my wife took the aisle because it was next to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be next to it, but I said I would, but she said she would. And then my son's like, I don't want to be middle. I'm going to be window. I sat middle for 5.5 hours, but they had free internet. Not that the middle had anything to do with the free. It wasn't free internet for middle seats.
Aisle seats don't have internet.
Yeah.
But middle,
we were saying, why is it that some people like let's say internet on a plane is $12, right? I don't know. Give me the average price of buying internet. Now, sometimes they have the hourly passes and then it's low. Maybe it's more than 12, dude, because it's like 10 for an hour.
Okay, let's say it's $18 at the most.
The reason I don't love the $18 expenditure, and you're right, we waste money on coffee and
Stupid stuff.
Constantly.
Oh, if you knew.
But like, if I'm buying internet at home for roughly $80 for the month, you know, most Americans buy paying something like maybe some less, maybe some more. $84, $82. Why am I spending $18 coming from Albuquerque?
I hesitate for a different reason.
What's the reason? Internet price isn't even good.
How was your internet when you were on the plane?
It was free and it was great.
Yeah,
that was the shocking part.
My issue is I feel like every time I buy the internet, like maybe 7 minutes later,
you're bogged down.
Somebody is coming on and they're like, hey, the internet's down. Like I just bought it.
No, today I'm like watching like major motion pictures and live streaming. I'm doing like YouTube chats. I'm like playing video. I mean, I had everything available to me.
You did so much. You were about to do your show on the plane.
I was doing so much with that internet. Anyway.
All right. So I know we mentioned this right kind of coming into the break. NBA playoffs going on tonight. Lakers got a chance to close out the Houston Rockets.
Yeah.
Can I read to you? Because I think it was pretty funny. Imagine you were up 3-1 on a series.
Okay. I'm imagining.
And the Houston Rockets, literally, when I say this, I really do. If you've seen any coverage on the Rockets, most of their coverage has been about how low IQ the team has been.
Yeah.
Okay. Coaching issues that they came into the series as heavy favorites. Kevin Durant, listen, of course, KD being injured. I'm not saying they don't have injuries. Yeah. But there hasn't really been many compliments to the Houston Rockets. And many of the reasons why there hasn't been compliments, they seem disjointed. They don't seem connected. The team doesn't really feel like they play together. Imagine being down 3-1. I'm going to read you Jabari Smith's quote about the game.
Okay.
Or his observation so far in the series.
Okay.
He said, we're obviously the better team.
Oh, obviously. Interesting.
And then he went on to say, I just feel like from top to bottom, you can say that's an opinion. I'm biased. I just feel like we're the better team. I don't know what he's watched in the 4 games.
Why would you say that?
Why would you say that?
Why would you even say that going on the road for Game 5?
All right, Şengün, which is their other player. And by the way, both of these players, Jabari Smith obviously has a role. I like Şengün's game. Here's what he said. He said, I know they're going to hit. We're going to hit them too. We're younger. We heal faster than them, probably.
They've had like 5 days off.
We're just going to hit each other. Anyways, long story short, I love how this series against the Rockets, they talk as if they were up 3-1, but they're down 3-1. Even if I'm up 3-1, that's probably not the strategy that I'm taking. I just thought that was interesting. Why is this guy running his mouth? And I love the portion where he says, obviously, we're better.
If I was a Rockets fan, that to me seems very frustrating, right? Like, it just seems like an inevitability. Like, I'd already be thinking about the offseason and what went wrong and can this be cleaned up?
What went wrong was game 3.
Game 3 went terribly wrong. Up 6 with the ball, 30 seconds left, and they lose. Plus, KD, you made this point. He missed 4 regular season games. Tonight, he misses his 4th game of the series. Yeah. So he's played no role, obviously, or not the expected role. So the whole thing has been an abject failure to this point. Can that change? It would surprise me.
The first 2 teams to get out of the first round are the 2 best teams in the NBA.
Oklahoma City, San Antonio.
The Thunder and the Spurs are out. Let me, and I'm curious on this. Can the NBA do something? Because this is very important for the NBA if this plays out the way it does. Let's say the Oklahoma City Thunder get past whoever they face in the second round, which would be Lakers or Houston. They'll be heavy favorites.
Yep.
Who knows if, Luka's even going to play in that series. San Antonio's they'll have a more difficult path. You and I were talking about this. They're up 3-2 now against Minnesota, but Minnesota doesn't have Anthony Edwards. They're obviously missing.
Denver's down 3-2.
Denver's down 3-2.
Yeah.
They got to win 2 in a row against Minnesota, but Minnesota doesn't have
Anthony
key
Edwards,
players, Dante DiVincenzo.
Yeah.
Does the NBA can they pool ratings in the Western Conference Finals, like impressive ratings if it's Thunder Spurs?
That's a great question. With those like markets
But you got the names.
You have the names.
You got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You got Victor Wembanyama.
These are like the two front running.
This is why I want to know. This is why I want to know, because in order for the NBA to get ultimately where they're hoping to get, it doesn't matter the market. It doesn't matter the team. It doesn't matter. Like the NFL, right? The NFL can have the Cincinnati Bengals going up against the Jacksonville.
Yeah, right. In the NFC, right? In the NFC. Carolina Panthers.
But my point is that could be a Thursday night game, and we're probably going to tune in. We're probably going to watch a little bit of it. You think they pull if it's Thunder, San Antonio Spurs?
Nowhere near to what they would pull.
Those are the two best teams.
If
two best teams in the
Lakers,
Warriors.
Lakers Nuggets does a better number, and I don't think it's close to Thunder Spurs, and that proves your point that the NBA unfortunately isn't like a marketless sport. There's very few that are.
Get Wemby in the Western Conference Finals. I think a lot of people are going to tune in for Wemby.
But I don't think it holds a candle to the LA Lakers.
Yeah, and I don't think I'm trying to compare it to the Lakers, because I think that would be the equivalent in the NFL. It's the Cowboys. If the Cowboys are in a playoff run,
the numbers are even better.
They're even higher. If the Yankees are in a playoff run, they're even higher. I don't think you got to compare them to the Lakers. I just mean in general.
I mean, listen, I'd be thrilled to watch Wemby against Shai. Spurs against Thunder. Spurs were great against the Thunder earlier in the regular season. I think there will be a lot of interest. I don't think it'll be record interest for the Western Conference Finals.
Why were we texting each other about Celtics Sixers?
Not sure. The Sixers, who I thought were just dead, they lost at home by 40 and allowed 26 threes or 25 threes to Boston.
They just go to Boston
and win by 17 or something. NBA is weird, dude. You look at the scores from like last night or 2 nights ago, all 30-point games. Sixers winning in Boston by 17. NBA is very tough to figure out.
Very odd.
All right, let's get to the wrap on the other side. We did promise you a giveaway right now, so let's do that. If you want 2 free tickets to see Motley Crue on September 18th, call 877-767-4760 right now and be caller number 3. The number to call is 877-767-4760. You need to call right now. You have 2 free tickets to see Motley Crue, Live Nation Summer of Live, September 18th, North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Live Nation Summer of Live, all in $30 tickets to this show and tons more now through May 5th at livenation.com. If you want 2 absolutely free tickets to see Motley Crue, call 877-767-4760 right now. We'll give away Santana tickets next hour. Kevin Acee will join us live at 5:30. This is Schaefer and Sliwa on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app.
The support is sponsored by Allstate. The Padres lost game 3 of their series against the Cubs down at Petco Park today, 5-4. They have an off day tomorrow before starting a series against the White Sox. We got 3 games in the NBA playoffs going on today. Right now, with about 5 minutes to go in the first quarter, the Raptors are up on Cleveland 22-16. And with about 6 minutes to go in the first half, the Pistons are up on the Magic 50-39. We got Lakers Rockets game 5 for you right here on San Diego Sports 760. Our pregame coverage will begin at 6:45, and we'll have the tip a little after 7 o'clock. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
All right, final time. Well, final hour of
Suzanne,
Schaefer and
guys.
Sliwa today.
Best
Not
of.
final time ever.
Best of the
Final
rest of the week.
Time today. Kevin Acee. Has he been on the show before? Has Kevin been on? I forget if Kevin's been on.
He's not been on. This
So he'll be on.
Yeah, he'll make his. This will be the
This will be
first
his
time.
debut.
I look forward to meeting him.
Kevin, who has hit the same number of home runs as Fernando Tatis Jr., will
Ooh,
join us coming up at
shots
5:30.
Fired, unnecessary, bro.
We're going to hear, you missed this, I think, while you were going to get another cup of coffee. Nobody drinks coffee more at 5 p.m. than Alan Sliwa.
Today's a long day.
Now, you got a long day. You're going to L.A.
I'm literally driving up to Los Angeles
to go to a
Darren-
Lakers game that already started.
Basically.
We're like mid-second quarter now.
Darren's going to the LAFC Toluca game tonight.
Yeah, but he went up yesterday. He told
he went
us.
up yesterday?
Yes, he's like, I am in L.A.
Oh, yes, that's a good idea.
You know what I mean? He's
That's a
not
good idea.
going.
It will still take
Wait.
him 4 hours from the hotel.
Walk me through this because you're doing a little bit of a back and forth, as we'll do for our jobs.
Mhm.
Because you're going to be back at Riverwalk Friday for this Aztec Link
I'll be there.
San Diego State football event. We're broadcasting live. Sean Lewis is on the show. So is Jaden Denigal and more. But why didn't you do today's show from Los Angeles? If you would have done today's show from LA, I'm coaching you through this right now. If I'm your head coach, if I'm the radio coach, I'm like, do today's show in LA from 3 to 6 from an iHeart studio.
Yep.
Now, boom, you can get to crypto for that 7 p.m. tip or close to it. And now you're kind of better situated for the day, right?
It's not a terrible idea.
So what were you thinking?
I'll tell you what I was thinking.
Oh, I had the equipment, didn't I?
You did have the equipment.
That's a problem.
You know what?
Yeah.
But that didn't even go through my mind. So like, that's not even a
Okay.
fair out for me.
Okay.
I'll tell you what I was thinking. So tomorrow morning, I'm doing a show on the LA station at 8 a.m.
Talking Lakers.
doing my Lakers show.
Yep.
Right. So the thought was tomorrow I'm going to do the show remote,
Right.
kind of get a little bit of a breather. Don't drive tomorrow. Friday, I'm driving back in the morning, which is kind of an easy drive. If I leave at 11 a.m., I'm good.
Okay.
2 solid hours. I'm back in San Diego. I'm at Riverwalk. I kind of planned it out to where my only day I got to be here the rest of the week is going to be Friday at Riverwalk, and then we're calling it a weekend. Could I have done it your way? I could have. But I guess I essentially didn't need to be there at the start of tip-off for this game tonight. I'll get there at halftime. We'll be fine. I'll be watching the game on my way up.
Right. You're not officiating, for example.
Yeah, I'm not.
Right, you're not doing live play-by-play.
They're not going to turn to me during a replay and say,
Hey, like, what do you think?
where's Sliwa?
All right.
Did you take a shot at me when you said the guy that drinks coffee the most at 5 p.m.? I feel like you took a shot at me there.
No, I
It's
don't
pretty
think
accurate.
so. I mean,
No,
it's
it's
not
pretty
like
accurate.
it's not like a negative thing to say about someone. It's not like
How have you not been to Wayfair in Bird Rock?
But here's what's interesting about Alan, and we'll get to the wrap.
Yeah.
You drink the smallest amount of coffee. The cups you drink of coffee are so small.
But they're just Espresso shots.
Oh, it's
You got
espresso.
2 shots in
There's
here.
3
That's a-
ounces.
That's
or
a
something.
lot of.
I could
I
learn.
will jog off the arrow. I will get on the 15 jogging, and then I'll get an Uber to pick me up about 3 miles down. I just gotta
wouldn't
let the
suggest
energy
that.
out.
It just runs LA. It might get there quicker. All right, Kevin Acee will join us live at 5:30 right now. Let's get to this.
Just average a 4.5 minute mile like that one dude.
It's time for the wrap. Presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
That's a callback. You're welcome. Do you guys trust the Padres bullpen?
I do, but let me preface something. Everything is kind of like this. It's a how do I put this, John? If one thing gets disconnected, other things start getting disconnected. And I think right now for the Padres, it starts with their starters. And when you have 3 starters that you have no idea what they're going to give you in a game, I think that could have an effect on your bullpen. I still trust this bullpen. I still trust Maury Hone. Of course, I trust Mason Miller. Of course, I trust Jason Adam. Estrada, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt when he comes back. The question becomes these other guys. Kyle Hart, I don't feel crazy about. David Morgan, I don't feel crazy about. Wandy Peralta, I don't feel crazy about. But I still think that when the dust settles and they have some of their guys and they have the right rotation, let's say they're in a postseason game, I will trust that bullpen. I know that's very far down the line.
Yeah, I mean, I trust it, but it's almost like with like a level of like, you got to still prove something to me. Like, I trust it, but I don't say it with the same conviction I would have said 3 weeks ago.
Fair.
Yeah, that's just how I feel about it. I think that ultimately it will be better than what we've seen here recently. I think AJ Preller, by the way, can add to it. It's just like who he is. So if they're good, I think they could still make a change or two in July or August. But yeah, I'm just surprised that their bullpen ERA is 17th best in the
That's
sport.
shocking.
And
Yeah.
it might be 18th after today. They
Very
let 2 more
surprising.
runs. Next question.
Will you miss Live Golf? It's apparently ending later this year.
What was your favorite moment?
There's so many, like, I don't even know where to start when I think of Live Golf. Like when we were talking a little bit earlier about the 1998 World Series run for the Padres. Live Golf, I have better Live Golf moments than I do the 1998 World Series run.
Don't.
I got nothing on Live Golf, buddy. I got no memories. So will I miss it? Other than what Brent just told me, let's just say I hadn't done a lot of research that it's going away.
Hold on. What about Brandon Grace's chip in at Portland? Remember that?
I do remember that. That was an important moment. That was critical.
Remember that one time Brooks Koepka, his resurgence?
No.
I'll miss nothing. I haven't even understood how this is played out. To me, this is not NBA, ABA back in the day or the original USFL and the NFL. I haven't given it that level of like credibility, but it actually has been, as in the caliber of golfers on the Live Tour has exceeded like the level of play in the USFL back in the 80s, or maybe like the type of player that was in the ABA back in the day. As in some of the best golfers in the world have been playing on the Live Golf Tour, yet I've paid absolutely no attention.
I didn't understand the tournaments. I didn't understand.
Oh yeah, the scoring systems.
It wasn't promoted well. But
I
listen,
agree.
I'm also not an avid golf fan. So I wonder if there's a lot of golfers out there who love golf that enjoyed the Live Golf tournament, but apparently not if they're
Why are you giving
canceling
golfers $100 million to play in something that I've never watched once in my life?
Yeah.
Next question.
Jack, who's training today, is a big golfer. He said Live sucked. So
Okay, well then
we'll
there you
take
have
his word
Sam
for
Jack.
it.
Thank you, Jack.
Thank you, Jack.
Would you guys rather attend a Super Bowl or a World Cup final?
Oh, World Cup final. Isn't that funny? I don't even think I hesitate. Here's the problem with the Super Bowl. Here's what everybody has said in regards to Super Bowl. I think this might even be a better question. Would you rather attend? No, I don't think it is.
I'm listening.
I'm thinking of like an AFC, NFC championship game. Those are real games. Like
As
that's a
opposed to a
real
Super Bowl?
atmosphere. Super Bowl is as corporate as it can possibly get.
Neutral.
It's not going to
Yeah.
have, the energy that you're looking for. But I think a Super Bowl would be cool to attend. I just have to have it in my mind. This is not just about the football game. I mean, you got a halftime show that's basically an hour and a half. Clearly it's not the event that a regular football game would be. But between the two, I just think of the World Cup final between France and Argentina.
Yeah, you love that match.
That was, just incredible, unbelievable. And that's kind of more of a bucket list of mine to go to one of these absolutely iconic type of soccer games. I'd rather go to a World Cup final.
I'll take a World Cup final if the U.S. is in it in the U.S.
Well, that ain't happening because
it
the USA will never
be a few weeks or a few months.
Can I tell you something? Can I give you? And I think a lot of people don't like this take. The people that the Americans that all of a sudden become big USA soccer fans.
Yeah.
For about a week and a half, and are so passionate and are so upset that the United States didn't advance or they didn't make it to the field of 16 or whatever. I'm just like, what are you guys doing? Like, it literally, you guys won't remember this for a week. In a week, you won't remember any of this.
I think we're winning it all. And if we're in the Natty or whatever they're going to call it,
the Natty, no, they call it the Natty.
I would like to go to the Natty. Now, if we're not in it, I'd probably take a Super Bowl. But us at home, I'm in. Next question.
Unbelievable.
Well, all three home teams win today in the NBA. It's Pistons, Cavs, and Lakers.
Pistons, Cavs, Lakers at home.
Pistons will win. I'd love to see the Cavs lose. I'm going to say no. I say Toronto beats Cleveland, but that has nothing to do with my mind. That's just my heart talking for a series that I shouldn't give a flying you-know-what about.
Magic, Rockers, Raptors tonight. What I call them Rockers.
The Rockers, huh?
Marty Jannetty and Shawn
team.
Michaels are going to...
It's a good team.
Well, the Rock. Hey, real quick, now that I screwed that up, tell me this is just me. I know Brent has to remember this because he knows everything that's ever happened on television from 1980 on. And you may as well.
No, I'm not.
Remind me of the event that I used to watch when I was like 8. Where they would rollerblade around in circles and then throw people into like alligator pits.
Yeah.
It's roller derby.
Were there alligators or something?
I don't think so.
remember that.
I remember roller derby. They used to air it on Fox back when Fox first started.
I just said the rollers
or
the Rockers.
You said the Rockers.
But I feel like there was a brief moment in time where it was somewhat popular.
It was popular, but I don't think there were alligators.
I don't think there was alligators. I think they kind of rode on the coattails of when WWE at the time kind of exploded in the 80s to where they were kind of syndicated. But I remember watching that.
That show was fun.
Oh my! I need to know what that was called.
I think it was roller derby.
They got to put that back on. All right, we're going to hear from Fernando Tatis Jr. on the other side, commenting on today's 5-4 loss to the Cubs. Plus, Kevin Acee will join us live at 5:30. Plus, we have Santana tickets to give away. An update on 1980s roller derby as well here on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
All right, SDFC is back at Snapdragon this upcoming Saturday where they take on LAFC. Our coverage with Adrian and Darren begins at 6 p.m. on your home for SDFC, San Diego Sports 760. Speaking of Darren, so we were talking about his just getting up there, and I'm going up to LA. Darren's already up there. Darren said that
he's going to see LAFC, you said.
He's going to LAFC Toluca.
Yep.
He said 50 minutes from Marina Del Rey. I got to be honest with you. That's not too bad.
5-0.
Here's the problem.
Yeah, you're not
telling you, once you get closer to that stadium, one time I had to go when I was working in LA, show that I was working on, we had to go to an LAFC game. LA Live is where I used to do my radio show. LAFC plays at, I think it was Bank of California before. I think now it's BMO Stadium. It's basically USC's campus, right next to the Coliseum.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably like 5 miles. It's not far.
Mm-hmm.
Took me over an hour.
Yes.
I couldn't get there.
That's why we live here.
I couldn't get there.
Yeah, I haven't. I mean, knock on wood. Maybe at some point in the last decade, I've had that happen in San Diego. Yeah, because it's like a Friday rush hour and you're going downtown before a Padres game. But I mean, that's not the norm here. But it is there.
Yeah, he said he didn't even get on the freeway. Yeah, it's
insane. Brett, by the way, did confirm that roller derby or whatever it was called back in the 80s and 90s on Fox did have live alligators.
That was how they did sudden death overtime.
You just threw someone to the alligators.
Yep. Yeah, you can YouTube it. They have a video of it. But yeah,
it's amazing the things that happened before the internet. Now, a lot has happened since the internet. That's probably not advisable either. But stuff before the internet was happening, we're like, you can't get away with this stuff anymore. I don't think.
There's a trick.
I still don't understand the story. I just don't understand how they have. No, I've seen it. I just don't understand how they.
Yeah.
See, they tricked everybody though, because it looks like they put masks on one of the skaters. I'm doing air quotes that got thrown over into the alligator pit. And as soon as he got thrown in there, he put his fist right underneath the jaw of the alligator. So I think they threw an alligator trainer in there that knew what to do.
Oh, so doesn't count.
It doesn't count. It's not like we threw Allen in there.
Either Schaefer or Slee was going in every Friday. That would be much more compelling.
That doesn't count. That
much more
as impressive.
Let's hear from Toddy. Kevin Acee will join us coming up at 5:30. We'll hear from Toddy in a moment. Kevin will join us in about 9 or 10 minutes. Plus, we are giving away Santana tickets, by the way, this hour. So the Padres, if you missed it, they lose to the Cubs 5-4, had a golden opportunity in the 8th inning. They loaded the bases with nobody out, back-to-back walks. Toddy hits a deep sac fly actually to center field, scores a run, moves a runner. Manny Machado then grounds into a double play, ends the threat. Padres do not get closer in a 5-4 loss. This was just a quick interaction. Take a listen to Fernando Tatis Jr. This audio courtesy of Marty Caswell.
Yeah, we're a good team. It's not just about the big guys. You know, to go all the way and to perform in this long marathon, you need a whole team to win ball games.
What do you think of kind of this series? 3 pretty closely contested games.
Good game of baseball, but whoever made the first mistake, was gonna get punished at the end of the game.
How close did you feel in that last swing to kind of clicking it?
Been close for a while, but this is a sacrifice fly. Just see it that way.
He's so frustrated. And if you see the video that coincides with the audio, that's typical frustrated Toddy that you've seen over parts of the last handful of years.
Yeah, listen, he did his job in the 8th.
I agree.
So I think today is a little bit different for me because, just like he was saying with the depth of the team, it takes a team. And the reason why the Padres are 8 games over 500, they're sitting at 19-11, and this is with a 2-game losing streak. This is with losing 3 of 4. They lost the last one to Arizona in Mexico City. They lose 2 of 3 to the Cubbies. Where would they be without Ty France and Xander Bogaerts? Maybe I shouldn't throw Xander into the mix there, but you know what I'm referring to, that there's a lot of guys that have stepped up so far this season, and they have stepped up without the main players being what they need to be. Tatis did his job today in that 8th inning. He got the runner from second to third. He brought sacrifice fly, brought a run in. It was 5-4. They didn't play the cleanest baseball against the Chicago Cubs. Even the win that they got, they won they were up 9-5. They ended up winning 9-7. That's with Mason Miller giving up a couple runs. Obviously, that controversial call, was it fair? Was it foul? It was foul. But since that win, they lose 8-3. They lose 5-4. They're behind in each one of these games. They're kind of battling back, and they show some fight. Like, this is one thing I've enjoyed about the Padres this year. But go back to Tatis. He can feel frustrated about how his season has played out. He did his job in the 8th inning.
Yeah, and like, to defend Tatis, which I haven't done a ton of, truthfully, like, Jackson Merrill's hitting 200 and Jay Cronenworth's hitting 146, and Manny Machado, while not fully healthy, is hitting 222, grounded into a crucial double play in the 8th inning, was 0 for 4 today. So it's not all on his shoulders. He may feel like it is, by the way. When you go 100 and something plate appearances as a quote unquote power hitter and don't hit a home run, I'm sure he feels like a lot is on his shoulders. But this isn't like, well, Fernando Tatis Jr. is the reason why they lost this series to the Cubs. That's not accurate. It's just, I can tell, I think our listeners can, you can, Tatis wears it on his sleeve, whatever the cliche is. Yeah. And not all professional athletes are like that. Some can kind of sell it a different way once they get in front of the media. He won't. I mean, he's very emotional. Yeah, highs and lows.
If I'm being honest, I mean, Tatis is, in a weird way, he's got to feel. Can you imagine if they were 11-19 and Tatis hadn't hit a home run?
He put it all on himself.
Well, it's not even just put them all on himself. Like, we are using our microphones a ton, as are a lot of other people who are covering the team, or they're reporters, or it's just fans. Tatis has been a big part of the conversation of like, hey, this dude still hasn't hit a home run. He hasn't had an extra base hit since April 11th. Imagine if they weren't playing well, how much that's amplified. So I think if you're Tatis, one thing you could feel okay about is, at the end of the day, the Padres are winning enough games to be right into the thick of things. They have kind of built themselves a little bit of equity where even if they go through a couple of bad stretches here, should be okay. Hopefully that's followed by some good stretches. I think he does have a lot on his shoulders, but the thing that he should pay attention to more is, I have yet to hit a home run, and our squad's 19-11, and try to find some positive out of it, because I don't think it's going to help him if he's woe me.
Yeah, go enjoy the off day. To your point, they're 19-11. Kevin Acee on the bullpen woes over the last week, on everything playing out right now with the Padres heading into an off day, getting ready for the White Sox at Petco this weekend. Kevin Acee, our Padres Insider, will join us live next on San Diego Sports 760.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The Padres lost game 3 of their series against the Cubs today, 5-4. Right now, we got 3 games going on in the NBA playoffs. At the half in Detroit, the Pistons are up on the Magic 66-60. About 7 minutes to go in the first half in Cleveland, and the Cavs are up 52-49 on Toronto. Right here on San Diego Sports 760 at 6:45, we got Lakers Rockets at game 5. The pregame, like I said, at 6:45. The tip will be a little after 7. Taco Bell turned Diablo sauce into a dust, and they're dusting the new Diablo dusted crispy chicken nuggets in it. A brand new classic only at Taco Bell at participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time and while supplies last.
All right, we're going to connect with Kevin Acee in a moment as the Padres fall in their series to the Cubs. They lose the rubber match earlier today, 5-4. Kevin reporting on it and covering it. So Kevin Acee will join us momentarily. Then
falling apart, brother. Falling apart.
Kevin or the Padres?
Padres.
I'm like, that is I don't know if that was necessary. Apart. Like, just you went at him like that.
Lost 3 of 4.
The team.
Yes. The team.
No, I don't think. I think they're fine. We said what circumstance will present itself for them to lose 4 or 5. What's it going to look like? Is it the offense going to let them down? Is it the pitching? And it's kind of been, well, they blew a 7-1 lead. It's been the pitching.
Yeah, I was going to say pitching and bullpen. Starters and bullpen.
Yeah, it's pitching. Yeah. I mean, it
hasn't necessarily been the bats.
It's only been, again, they're 1-3 in their last 4 games. It's not like they've lost 9 of 10.
No, I'm being sarcastic.
No, I know you're
apart. But when they do lose 3 of 4, this is kind of one of the first times, other than early in the season. It's the first series they've lost, I want to say, since San Francisco.
Yeah, I think Kevin could confirm that.
Yeah, the second series.
Right. Kevin Acee is our Padres Insider, back with us right now on San Diego Sports 760 and Schaefer and Sliwa. Kevin, always appreciate it. We've been spending a lot of time today, even when this game was playing out, about the Padres bullpen struggles, which I think heading into the year obviously was not expected. How much of this is on the bullpen and how much of this is on starters maybe not working deep enough into games right now? Because I want to say over the last week, the bullpen ERA has been awful. That includes that 10-run game in Mexico City. But on the whole, even the bullpen ERA, I think is like 17th or 18th in baseball right now.
Yeah, that's a pretty steep drop from last week. I forget what it was, but I think it was top 5, top 7. And you got to go with that game on Sunday.
Yep.
But look, to the last 2 losses, those are bullpen losses. And it's basically the entirety. Last night was a combination of Hart, Morgan, Peralta. Tonight was a run by Morejon after he comes in when it's tied, and a run by Jason Adam. And look, they can't be perfect. I'm always going to defend a reliever, especially guys who have a track record. It is the most difficult job in baseball. It just really is. But hey, that's what these guys are here for and what they're getting paid for. And that's what this team is built on. And that's why I always say, even when I talk about like, oh man, Padres got one of the best bullpens and this is how they're supposed to map out wins and all this. I say, man, counting on your bullpen to be the best part of your team is just a perilous thing because they can't be perfect. I thought Matt Waldron was magnificent today. I don't mean magnificent like he was Tarek Skubal, but magnificent because he overcame some misplays, one in particular that was called a double. I don't see how, but it was. I got the explanation if you want it, but I don't believe it. And he went 5 innings and had him in the game.
Okay, and obviously you're talking about, I'm assuming, the Jackson Merrill play early on. Just to stay on Matt Waldron, because I'm with you. I mean, I'm looking at Waldron's line: 5 innings, 3 earned runs. Even his start that he had, I'm trying to think here, was this the start in Mexico City or in Colorado, where he kind of in Colorado, where he gutted it out and told basically Stam, just leave me in here. Let me try to give you some innings. He still gave up a lot of runs, but you can look at some positives that he's had. What do you think of Waldron as a whole? Just in general, coming in obviously for Nick Pivetta. I know that's not the long-term answer, but what have you thought of what he's done?
Good enough that if he is good in his next start, and I think that there's going to be at least one more, because I think Griffin Canning has one more this weekend on the last day of his rehab assignment, the 30th day, I believe he will pitch and then come back. I'm almost certain about that Matt Waldron could make it hard on him. And it's kind of like I wrote about it today, and I could write it again in tomorrow's newsletter. Like, those guys, Matt Waldron, Walker Buehler, Herman Marquez, they've been good enough to be number 5 starters, but like not great where you're like, oh, this is a good problem to have. We got so many good pitchers. No, they've got so many pitchers. Like, I don't know which. I think Herman Marquez has pitched the best of the 3 of them. I think Walker Buehler is right there, and I think Matt Waldron is the odd man out. But you were right about Colorado, because that's a place where you just pitch well enough to keep your team in the game more than any other place, except I guess Mexico City. And then I thought he was fine today. He really was, man. He didn't have his fastball, and he still got through those 5 against one of the best lineups in the majors, top to bottom. And he got let down. There was a sun ball that, Xander Bogaerts made a great play to end the first after Waldron almost got screwed in the first by, a misplay in the sun. So I thought Waldron was fantastic. What does that mean? I really couldn't tell you.
Kevin Acee is with us right now. Our Padres insider, Schaefer and Slee with San Diego Sports 760. I'm sure we've talked about this some over these 30 games. The 19-11 is very impressive. Is it surprising to you that they've been able to reach that, reach this point when I just look, Merrill's hitting 200, Machado's hitting 222. Cronenworth hasn't even hit. I mean, 146. It doesn't get worse than that. And we all know about just Tatis's power struggles. It almost feels to me like it's impressive that they're 19-11 when you consider all the things we talk about each and every day.
Yeah, they certainly are focusing on that, and I'm not going to argue with them. It's then just the rest of our, this is the 3 of us and others, our job to kind of talk about what the other possibilities might be. I don't want to say poke holes in it, but okay, super impressive. Absolutely. Also a little bit concerning. Now, it's a month in and they're 30 games in, and because they are 19-11, they seem to have a deep lineup, and because of the history of the players involved that aren't hitting, you go, well, gosh, it can only get better. I'm willing to do that now a month in. I don't know about you guys, but I'm willing to do that a month in. Say, yeah, you know what? They bank some wins while they're waiting for these guys to get hot. I mean, I would say that it's not a guarantee that they're going to get hot, but they're wasting good Xander Bogaerts. There's no explanation for Tatis. I keep getting these emails about him hitting the ball on the ground. His ground ball rate is virtually exactly the same as it has been every year of his career, including when he had 42 home runs. So it's just bizarre with Tatis. It's got to change. So, yeah, I'm willing to say, hey, this is super impressive, and they're going to be better. I'm not entirely convinced, but I'm willing to say.
Kevin Acee joining us here on the Schaefer and Sliwa show. Of course, Acee with us all the time. Kevin, just to kind of stay on Tatis for a second, we played a clip of Tatis, and he obviously sounds frustrated. You could tell in his voice. You're around him all the time. How much do you think is this just the mental game? And I think we mentioned he hasn't had an extra base hit since April 11th. I know we keep saying, by the way, today I thought he did his job, right? In the 8th inning, you score a run from third, you move the runner from second to third. He did his job, whether he thought whether he thought he could do more or not, he did his job. How much of this do you feel like it's just mental, and until he gets one, he's going to kind of have this mental struggle until he finally breaks through?
Well, it certainly is mental, but I want to make sure that I point out, because I do talk to him a lot, about this. They're really trying the last few days to sort of stay away from him. I talked to him about it so much. But of course he's going to sound frustrated. And by the way, some of the frustration is at the repeated questions.
Sure.
But, you know, the fact that he has to talk about it. But like, I want to point out how relatively positive Fernando Tatis Jr. stayed. I mean, I feel like in some past years, if this was happening, it wouldn't even still be happening because he'd be striking out. He wouldn't be hitting the ball hard. He'd be really frustrated, and it would show up on the field. And I only feel like in a few instances has it shown up in his at-bats. I'm very, very impressed by the way Fernando Tatis has handled this season. Like, because, you know, been honest about it before that like Pouty Tatis, we really haven't seen it. I think some people are reading into that we're seeing it because he's having his past held against him. And okay, fine, whatever. And there have been only a few instances, I swear, where you go, okay, this guy's super frustrated, where you can just see it. I think he's doing a phenomenal job of trying to stay in it. I mean, think about how long this feels to him. Probably feels like it's basically been like 6 months of this.
I've reached the point, Kevin, you'll be amazed by this. I'm on a flight today. I was visiting family in Philadelphia. I was heading home, and I bought a $9 stat head subscription at Baseball Reference because I needed to know the answer to what's the most home runs ever hit by a player that started a season without homering in 29 consecutive games. And now it's 30, and I couldn't even figure it out on my $9 a month. I never give
money's
you
not a thing.
I never
Money's
give you
not a
homework, but I'm genuinely curious. Someone's telling me maybe it's who did I say at 32? With the Cubs in 20, Alfonso Soriano went 31 games to start the year. I think he had 32. It's just like I don't even think it matters anymore with Tatis. It's not about a number that he reaches. And I think genuinely the funniest thing possible is his first home run being an inside the park home run. I think that would just be absolutely incredible if it played like that, if it played out like that. But it's one of those things, like I was actually trying to go there actually earlier with like, it's not just Tatis. You got guys like, again, the Cronenworths, the Merrills, Eva Machado. I know he had the 2 home run game, but it just feels like there's so much attention on Tatis because you have that big goose egg, and that goose egg kind of speaks for itself. And it's a talking point that is going nowhere, and it's only going to increase, I would think, in the coming days until it's resolved. A statement, obviously.
You know, he's never gone more than 5 games. You know, he's never gone more than 5 games into a season without a home run. Like it's
into a season.
I mean, I remember writing that when he was at like 9 games. And that seems like an awful long time ago. Yeah, look, hey, we've reached the point where if this guy finishes with 20 home runs, think about that. He had 20 home runs in the final 5 months. Like, that's probably pretty good for the Padres.
Yeah, especially last year when he ended up with 24, I think. Kevin, final one for me. And just as a whole here, I know they didn't do it, but if they'd have won today, they would have reached 20 wins through 30 for the first time since 1998, and it's only happened once. As the dust settles here, they're 19-11, obviously right in the thick of the NL. Let's just kind of take another sample size of 30 games. And I know John kind of alluded to this about sustaining what they've done so far. If they're able to kind of go off on another one of these streaks, what are the things, and are other than the stuff that we've already talked about, that you would say has to change or has to improve? It could be individual players, it could be the team as a whole, to continue what they've done so far.
There's just so many questions, man. Like the top of the big 4, the core 4, whatever. The 3 of them have just got to do better. The starting pitching is just a question. I can't say they have to do better because actually I think Michael King and Randy Vasquez have been phenomenal. I mean, King has been sort of easing into the season after his sort of weird season last year, but like that's your 2 guys that, wow, they've been really good. So Giolito needs to come and be what he was last year, and Canning needs to come and be what he was last year. The bullpen needs to get more consistent, and I'm not worried at all about the bullpen. I'm not saying like, I think it's going to be the best bullpen in baseball. I'm saying like, look, other than last year, really, the bullpen, and there was a stretch early last year, actually, after they got rocked in New York. There was a stretch of a couple weeks where the bullpen it was almost historically bad, as a matter of fact. Yeah. So I'm not like worried about the bullpen. I'm worried. I would think the concerns center around the offense and the questions about the rotation. Like, you do not throw 19 and 11 back in the ocean, right? Like, that's great. But like, I honestly have no idea about this team. And I've talked to a lot of people in the last few days as I'm anticipating writing, like the whole first month thing. And that's the consensus is like, just not sure. Just not sure.
Kevin, we're up against it, but Craig Stammen expected to be back with the club come Friday, or is that still to be determined?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He'll be back Friday.
Good stuff. Kevin, appreciate it. We'll catch up with you on Friday.
Thanks, Kevin.
Right on. See you guys.
Reaction to our conversation with Kevin Acee here until 6 p.m. Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, hey guys, it is Schaefer again for our friends at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. And I've been telling you for a long time about the hotel and spa at Jamul. You will love it. You're going to experience elevated luxury with their refined hotel stay, rooftop relaxation, indulgent spa treatments, all the excitement of Jamul Casino Resort seamlessly brought together in one unforgettable destination. And you can now take your stay to the next level. They've got exclusive hotel packages crafted for the ultimate escape. While you're there, you'll love their food options, whether it's Tony Gwynn's with their endless dining or Jamul 23. At Tony Gwynn's, you can enjoy San Diego's favorite endless dining experience Wednesday through Sunday, Tony Gwynn's Sports Pub. And then at Jamul 23, you can enjoy lobster buffet every day. Enjoy all-you-can-eat lobster every day, plus dozens of other delicious stations. Start your morning with their new signature breakfast buffet, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10:30 a.m., featuring made-to-order omelets, fresh fruit, and sweet and savory favorites at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. All right, final few minutes of Schaefer and Sliwa. Sliwa will be heading to crypto, like the arena, right? Is it crypto or crypto.com?
It's crypto.com arena.
Can I be honest with you right now? I've never gone to the website because it's named after a website, right?
I personally, for me, so funny when I was up there and they changed the name, right? It was Staples Center for a while.
It was?
People were so mad.
They were so mad, dude.
When it changed from Staples, I'm like,
so mad.
I'm like, guys, just
Staples is named after Staples.
Yeah, I was like, guys, just for a second here, like the Kobe and Shaq era is not going to get lost because a company that sells office chairs is no longer the official sponsor of the arena. They're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Now the problem is the crypto.com arena name.
I don't think people love
ain't
that.
a good name. That's not a good name.
Yeah, it's not.
That's just sports fans in general. Because when the Brewers went from Miller Park to American Family Insurance Field or whatever, Brewer fans
Miller's a brand, but they love beer brands.
That's a good sponsorship.
Yeah.
American Family Insurance, something that's not a good sponsorship name.
The worst is when you have something that, like, if you change Yankee Stadium to like Staples.com/deals stadium, people will lose their mind because it's been Fenway or it's been. By the way, Wrigley invented this. Wrigley's named after Wrigley chewing gum.
Yeah,
and we're like, oh, it's Wrigley. How could you ever change Wrigley? I mean, they're not going to, but it's one of the advents of
I think it was at one point, even Boston, right? Wasn't the Celtics? It was the Garden. And then it changed to like TD. Yeah, people lost it. They lost it. And every time I hear people lose it, I'm like, guys, relax. It is literally just a corporate sponsor.
Petco's been on Petco since Petco, right? Petco's been on Petco since Petco. I think they've re-upped recently. It's not like it's going to go away tomorrow. But there could be a day, because this is how business works. Petco may not exist as a company in its current format. They could change it. If Petco ever became
Amazon Park,
people will lose their mind.
Yeah.
Because it's been ingrained for over a generation now. You're talking 20-something years.
I mean, Qualcomm, Jack Murphy Stadium.
That had some names. It had some names over the years. But I do think if Petco ever changed, like there's been some bad ones historically. Like some do fit and are better situated.
New Orleans, your team.
Caesars.
Smoothie King Center.
That, and also what's the dome called? It's like the Caesars Dome.
No, I thought it was Mercedes. Isn't it Mercedes?
Oh, maybe Mercedes now. Yeah, no, that's in Atlanta. Are they both?
I thought New Orleans is Mercedes.
You're probably right.
Yeah, New Orleans is Mercedes. Who is it that plays in the KFC Yum or whatever? Is that Louisville?
The Yum Donuts brand?
Is that the Caesars Superdome?
Wow.
Who's it? Oh, the KFC Yum Center, dude.
By the way, you were quick. You were quick to shut Brent and I both up.
I knew it had changed.
No, you guys want to do this? Let's do it.
You want to do this? Let's do it right.
That's what you were doing.
Don't tell me it's Smoothie King. It is Smoothie King, though, for the NBA.
Smoothie King Center. Yep. Who had one that was awful in Sacramento? Was it called like Golden
terrible.
One? No, I think that's what it is.
Sleep Train.
Sleep Train.
At a time, it was Arco Arena.
Yeah.
Remember, that was good.
Yeah,
Arco Arena was good. It would be. This is the one thing that's going to be nice once our show's done. I'll be going up
forever or just today?
Just today.
Yeah.
We're going up to Lakers Rockets for Game 5. There's nothing more like you want a stress reliever.
Yeah.
Drive from San Diego to LA.
100%. It's great.
It's like where I get my most zen. There are a lot of times I pull over on like the 5.
Just to slow down.
Breathe.
Well, the problem is, I mean, you're probably going 100 because there's no cars. You're just flying. It's like the Autobahn.
As fast as you want.
You just
And
boom.
cops, they're good with it.
They're
care. Just like, enjoy yourself.
And you even get your own like video profile. They have helicopters overhead. They're like, look how fast this guy's going. That's so cool. We want to videotape it so he could share it with his friends. All right, Alan's on his way for.
I'll go 67 miles an hour.
That's what I'd be going, 66. Lakers and Rockets Game 5 is tonight. We are back tomorrow at 3 p.m. and then with you from Riverwalk. We're talking to Sean Lewis, San Diego State football head coach, on Friday at 3:30. If you missed anything today, sportssd.com or the iHeartRadio app. For Brent Sperry, Jack Powers back there hanging out. And Alan Sliwa. I'm John Schaefer. This is Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. That was all Jack. We're live on the iHeartRadio app. Thanks, Jack.